This is Real Talk. Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk. Real Talk. This is Real Talk. Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk. Real Talk. Real Talk.
We have the one, the only, the powerful. Y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all ain't ready for this thing. I'm trying to figure out, see how I'm gonna do this introduction. I want to bring her in good. Okay. She is debuting her EP. Is actually already out there. It is available on wherever you can download your music. And trust me, if you have not heard it, by the time this podcast is over, you gonna want to hear it. She has a golden voice, and I don't use that phrase lightly. I do mean a golden voice. She's got sass, she's got soul, she's got neo soul. She is everything. She is a wonderful, dynamic, local, powerful singer, and one of my favorites, especially because, you know, I knows her, so I can say that. She's the one and only. I got to use her stage name, Lex the Visionary. Say hi to the folks, ma'am.
Hey. Hi, folks. Hi,
we brought her welcome. She has been on the Real Talk podcast before, but normally she's on the Real Talk podcast simply as her actual name. But today, she is here as the artist, Lex the Visionary. We're going to treat her as such. So y'all who know who she is without the visionary portion, just get used to me saying Lex the Visionary today, because that's what we're going to say. That is who she is. That's who she going to be. That's who we rolling with. Period.
That's what it is. Not this.
He just showed his age just that fast.
Listen, I'll update it something. I say in that order. That work? How about that? That's close enough to. It was in the last 10 years. That one was in the last 10 years. Okay.
Sure.
But we gonna treat her like the star that she is, and we are here to talk about not only her debut debut EP. I want to keep calling it an album, but it is an EP. It is. I know. I know the technical terms.
It wouldn't be out yet.
Well, we wait, but we'll get to that later on. Not only is she here to talk about her debut EP, Lotus. I keep wanting to put the word "the" in front of it. But we're also going to get to know her some. We as Philonda and Jesse, we know her. Not only is she a member of High Praise Ministries, but we just know her. We talk with her. We've had some time to fellowship with her and stuff like that, so we know her. And we wanted to get you the opportunity to know her like we know her, because she's a bad mamma jamma. Now that's how you show your age.
Ooh.
I was saying bad. I was like, where's this bad going?
That's the 20-year difference right there. Right there was a 20-year difference between her and I. Well, actually, not quite 20 years, but it feels like it sometimes. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get started and deal with this interview and introduce the folks to you. So, before we get into the project, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us about you. You know, like who you are, your upbringing, and what brought you to music. Like, what's Lex the Visionary's origin story?
My origin story. So I'm officially and originally from the DMV area, specifically PG County, Maryland. I was raised there, born in DC. Mm-hmm. And then, we drove back over to Maryland and grew up in Largo. But yeah, origin story. I'm so bad with broad questions, but as we go, I guess you can get more specific. So as it pertains to like music and stuff, I feel like every black child was in the choir. Every black person who started music or is in music, started in the choir somehow. And then it was Sunbeams. I was like, I want to say like 7 years old, maybe 6. Mm-hmm. At the same time, my mom put me in piano lessons at a young age at like 6 or 7. So that's like where the foundation started, sight reading, like training my ear at a young age. Mm-hmm. But having this like want to be an artist and pursue music and sing didn't happen until middle school, when I was watching Disney Channel and like all about the Disney Channel movies and the musicals and the Circle of Life. I mean, do you remember the Circle of Life music video?
Yeah.
And it was just with Taj Mowry and Raven Simone, and so good. So those like really spoke to me and got me really excited. High School Musical, Hannah Montana, and yeah, it just like breathed something into me. And then, but I was really shy, really, really, really shy. I don't think I did my first performance until I was 18 in college. In that, you know, that went how it went. I did it with the organization I was part of at the time, so they created a safe environment for me to like, you know, grow. But yeah, in college, I was tossing and turning between, okay, do I really go for this or do I not? I had an internship in college at House Studios, which is a former studio in Hyattsville, Maryland. And at the time, you know, I guess I considered him a mentor at the time. Udo Gray, I asked him, you know, just if I do music, where do you think I should go? He mentioned Atlanta. I felt like I got a lot of signs to go to Atlanta, just like leading up to that. And I felt like God was like, yes, Atlanta. So, yeah, after college, like 3 months later, I was in Atlanta. Just being like, okay, here we are. And it's been almost 7. It's been more than 6.5.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's an origin story, though. You did good with it.
Yeah, we did? Okay. I was trying to be like, let me not say, you know, because I sent a couple voice notes earlier, one to my cousin, one to somebody else. I said, you know a lot. You didn't that.
But that's like that could be like your period or you know, that could be your thing.
That's like
But you know.
I don't want to do that. I'm going to be mindful. Okay.
So what were some of your biggest musical influences, both growing up and now?
My biggest musical influences growing up. So, I might get flack for this, but...
Catch all the smoke. Catch all the smoke.
My biggest musical influences, so, I mean... When I think influences, I think of like the things that inform your music today. And to be honest, like my biggest musical influences when I was younger, because I really started to get into music when in like 02 to 04, so I was like 8, 10 years old. I love JoJo. I love JoJo and Destiny's Child. And those were my go-tos when it came to like mimicking their voices and like listening to range and seeing what I could and could not do. Prior to that, I grew up on gospel and Motown. My mom was gospel, my dad was Motown.
You had those Saturday morning cleanups?
No.
Really?
No, I did not. I mean, so the only time my mom would make my brothers and I like clean was when she would have guests over.
Gotcha.
That's when she would get like in her moods and I'd be like, who are you? But yeah, so that and then as I've gotten older, like I've just been really I love hip hop. I write like a rap style, even though I primarily sing. Just because I really admire wordplay. Like I love a good pen game. Like, cause I just feel like you remember that. Like you can remember a run too, and how certain R&B songs feel like. But for me personally, just if you say something crazy and like I get hyped, I'm just like, yeah, that's it. So I just always like my writing to have some sort of like cleverness to it. But yeah.
Ooh, off the top of my head.
Go for it.
What is one lyric that you will never be able to forget? Since the pen game's everything. What's the one bar that constantly lives rent free in your head?
I have two. One is recently this year. One is from Lil Wayne.
Okay. Of
course, the real G's move silent like lasagna. That one. And then there's this girl named, I know who she is. She goes, shorty looking on my page, better watch me flow. Hit the boomerang, let us watch me slow. Hit the zoom again and let her watch me close. Not to boast, I made it in your face like a hibachi stove. And I said, excuse me? And she's like, I love dealing with a rich nigga. I love dealing with a rich nigga. If he gonna trick, then I'm a trick, but he gonna trick bigger. And then I kind of lose it. But I forgot her name.
And
you
I
know who I'm
her.
talking
I
about?
can see her face, and I can't.
New York, soft voice.
Yes.
She's just chill with it.
Oh.
She's just like, yeah. Like, she's just real cute. She don't gotta be hard.
Effortlessly.
That's hilarious.
Dang.
That's what caught me
You
with
trying
that.
to look her up though?
Yep.
Dang. I
So in
respect
that
it.
same vein, while she's looking her up, because she gonna have to find her, because now that's gonna live rent free in her head.
It is.
I would turn that on to like get hyped for like 3 months straight because she dropped that video at the end of January. So good.
What is your favorite album, and which album sparked your passion for music?
My favorite album and which sparked my passion for music. Oh man. I can't say this is my number one, but one of my favorites is wait, okay, more popping up.
That's why we asked, which is a hard question.
Sheesh. I really love A Seat at the Table by Solange. That's one of my favorites of all time, for sure. Because I think it came out end of 2016. At the time, I was just moving to Atlanta, going through some tough times where I was living. And it's just something that I listened to when I cried, honestly. I felt very connected to it. I liked the transitions. I felt like it was something you could, for the most part, listen from beginning to end. So I really love that album. I just have to say one. Okay, what was the other question? Okay, sorry.
Is which album was your favorite album, and which album sparked your passion for music?
Which album sparked my passion for
Like
music?
you heard the album, you heard the songs, like, I love that. I think I can do that.
I mean, probably Destiny's Child, number one.
That's all right. You're young, so you're allowed.
No, I mean, I get scared because I'm young, but you know, in a room full of black people my same age, they're gonna be like, "Why won't you say something from the '90s?" I'm gonna be like, "Because that's not my story. Everybody doesn't have the same black experience."
Right.
Because I would always mimic them. I would try to be over here. You know, want their curly hair, which I thought was real, but then, you know, you find out 10 years later it's a wig. So yeah, Destiny's Child for sure.
Okay. You got one? Because I got a bunch I can keep going.
Out of Destiny's Child, which one did you mimic? Like, if you got the opportunity to say my name came on, or who are you?
What song would I choose to sing?
which individual are you? Beyonce, Kelly, Michelle.
Everybody's
Beyonce.
I was never Beyonce.
What were you?
Kelly.
You were Kelly?
There was something just so hood about her. I was like, at any moment, I feel like I can relate to that. At any moment,
Yeah. Michelle would carry them bridges, though.
she would.
She was here. She was there. And she did that every time.
So, why do you choose to create? Like, what drives your purpose in creation?
What drives my purpose in creation? Oh, it's deep.
We're gonna hit you with these hard-hitting journalistic questions. This ain't a game.
I know. This will happen in the real world. They don't send you them ahead of time. Wait, say it again. What's my purpose for
What's
creating?
your purpose for creating? Yep.
I feel like it's a few different things. I feel like I create, my purpose for creating is because it feels like what I should be doing. And anytime I don't or deny it, like, it just doesn't work. I gotta sneeze. Wait a second.
Go on and say sorry. This real
It's like
talk.
it's in my left nostril.
Don't you hate that? And the fact that you recognize it's not going to come out now. It's going to
It's
sit
not.
there for a minute.
It's going away. It's like lingering. If I sneeze in the middle of
That is what it is.
one thing that I really want to do with the music that I create is I think it's very important to, not that there isn't, but to always just, as people come along in their careers and stuff, just have positive representation in women and I just feel like someone like me, how I was raised, can still be impactful. I didn't used to think that for a long time. I used to think I had to have a really hard life to be able to write certain things and be a certain way, when in actuality I just had to, of course, just come from my own experience or can be influenced by others' experiences, can write a very descriptive story that's completely left field, so I think I just want to be able to exude my experiences, my perspectives on life, and be able to do that in a way that empowers, that reassures, that drives people down their own paths, their own specific ones, because that's the most important thing, is just believing in what you have to offer, where you're going, and standing in it very firmly, which I've learned over the years. So that's number one, like whether it's through music or whatever other mediums, because I have all these art mediums that I can do. The biggest thing is to make sure that I'm empowering someone to like live in their gifts and what they have to offer.
That's amazing.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah. Oh, we got there.
I got a follow up.
Uh-huh.
It's your fault. You did it. So all the mediums that you have that you were able to do, because you're gifted in a number of areas, and I have been privileged to see some of those gifts, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's a bunch I know I don't know nothing about, but of all of the gifts that you have, what is your favorite? What's the one that you're like, this one? Like, I like all of them.
Like creatively?
Mine.
Ew. Okay. Let's see. Can write. I can play piano.
What?
That one I
I
did
can
not.
draw.
And I'm a little upset I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm just rusty, but I can play. Write, piano, draw, photography, videography, singing, rapping, dancing. Probably the writing.
Okay.
That's where I'm most like, I feel most alive is when I'm writing a good song. Like, yeah, definitely. And maybe I'll say that for another time. Writing. There we go.
Okay.
Writing. Let's stick to that, yeah.
Got another follow up, because I'm evil with these. I like these deep probing questions. When I get in my bag, I get in my bag. What is your favorite piece that you've ever written?
And for the audience, just know that she did have songs that existed that are available on YouTube. Follow Lex the Visionary.
I mean,
That existed before the EP.
Yup.
well, yeah, and they're under Lex. They're
She
under
gotta
my
keep
old
under
Lex?
artist name.
Okay.
They're under Lex, but it's a whole thing because there's so many Lexes. If you want to hear the old stuff, you would have to type Lex and then effort. That's the only way you can find me. I'm trying to get him transferred.
Gotcha.
This year. What was the most favorite thing I've written?
Because as a writer myself, I know that there are some things that you write because you're just inspired to, and then there's some things that you write like as you're writing it. Not only is it because you're inspired, but it just really connects. The moment pen hits paper and
Yeah.
you finish, and you're like, this is a beast.
Yeah.
So whether it be poetry, whether it be musically,
Yeah.
what is your favorite piece of writing?
favorite piece of writing. I can't help but hear this thing that I haven't released, I haven't even finished in my head. Do I even remember all the lyrics?
Just give it the title. Don't give them nothing that ain't released yet. We don't do nothing for free, y'all.
I mean, but I like it though.
That just means it's gonna become. Listen, pay attention to this title because that means it's coming soon. Because it's her favorite.
But you said I can't do it.
You can give the title.
You could give
There's
a
no
little bit.
title. Like there's
Oh.
none of that.
Just,
Yeah,
just give us a few
lyrics.
lines. It'd be the on the spot parts.
Because I can't remember. Okay, we're gonna try. If I don't remember at some point, I'm gonna switch it.
Okay.
Little did I know my heart was frozen. Every icicle marks a deeper cut.
I told y'all she can sing, y'all. She sang.
I don't remember the rest of the lyrics. Sorry, guys. Let's switch it up. But I really like that one. I mean, I really like what I did with Stretch. Like how I started Stretch. Because it's so specific to me. Silence used to be my greatest virtue, but silence doesn't work when people hurt you. I feel some fire creeping up my spine, yeah. Heartburn really makes you lose your mind, yeah. Please don't test me. Was your crash dummy till you wrecked me? Now you're running up my card note, making payments on something that been broke. Tap, tap, my nails irritated. Can't believe you trying to get reinstated. You know what you did. Know what you... And I'm sick of it. Sick of it. So, yeah, I really like how I wrote that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Y'all, Stretch is on the EP, so y'all gonna need. I promise you, Stretch is a monster. It is my second favorite. We're gonna talk about my first favorite. We're gonna get that later on. But since we're on the project, let's talk about the project. Tell us where the name Lotus came from. Like, what was the inspiration for the name?
The name Lotus. I can't even remember how I decided. I remember texting it to my team, like, the project name is Lotus. I forgot how I got to that point. Well, God, but I forgot how you even got me to that point. But I just remember after it popped in my head, just looking up the different meanings of it. And, you know, the main thing that stood out was just the whole rebirth thing. Because I started riding Lotus back in 2021. And at first it wasn't supposed to be Lotus. Like, we weren't writing to make a project. It was just to work with like minds, really collaborate, flow, and just let things come out organically, have fun. And it wasn't until a year later that it was like, okay, this is going to be the project. But yeah, it just really represents a time in my life where I had to shift mentally because I was just repeating a lot of poor choices that just didn't serve me. I had issues with, you know, attracting or attaching myself to poor quality guys. And I really wasn't as vocal as I am now. I was afraid to be anything but peaceful or come off that way. I didn't like having my own feathers ruffled and being expressive and angry, and I always felt guilty for doing things other than what the good girl or nice girl is supposed to do. And it was a problem. It was like killing me on the inside. So 2021 was a big year for me because I just decided that I needed to pivot, and that required starting therapy, my therapy journey, which I've been on for over 2 years, which has been incredibly helpful. Incredibly helpful. So yeah, Lotus, it's really encapsulates my 2021 and the emotions and the phases that I had to go through to come out on the other side as not just Lex the visionary, but Lex as a woman, as a creative, as so many different sides of me that I feel like were more suppressed before because I was afraid. So, yeah.
So it sounds like it was very much so a discovery year for you.
It was discovery. It was also a lot of pain.
Yeah.
It was a lot of hurt. It was a lot of being in a hole. For sure. 2021 and 2022. We're being honest. But yeah.
So, you mentioned your team, which I love. For y'all who don't know, if you ever have a conversation with Lex the Visionary and are talking about her project, she will always talk about her team, and that's not something that you hear often. Most people, they will reference them real quick, and then let's get back to me, let's get back to the project. But she is always so giving to give shouts out to the team and include them in everything. So, since no one person can do it alone, and you're always mentioning your team, how did this collaboration of phenomenal people, and they are phenomenal, how did this come together?
Grade A plus. How did this come together? Ooh, this is good. So I got to Atlanta 2016. I had an internship within 3 months. Internship, I was 1 degree away from anyone, right? Ludacris would come through there. I was in a session with Jadena that I wasn't supposed to be in. I was confused. Just, it was like I got here, I met the right people, connected with the right people, and now I'm here, like January 2017. And I was there most of that year, and just kind of feeling the waters and seeing what it was all about. And granted, I did learn things there. That was the first time where I really started to understand just my personal just influence, like when I walk into a room, which just was mind-boggling for me, just because growing up back at home, like I was a completely different person. And this is just a note too, like sometimes you can't realize who you are and what you really are until you move away and get in different rooms, and people will sing things that you haven't and then actually tell you, which is beautiful. So that was happening. That was a positive thing that happened. I got to see some insights into different executive meetings and see how certain artists were moving and things like that. But it just didn't feel all the way good. And there was a moment where I could have chosen to, continue to go to another studio with who I was, I guess, working with at the time. He's an executive, really smart man, really, really successful. He manages a very successful songwriter. He who has probably written some, like, most hits, he's eating money, bread. But it was one of those things where I felt like I had to compromise what I really wanted, because he wanted me to manage the next studio that he was going to go to, and I wanted to be an artist, and I could tell that at the time, like, that's not something that he wanted for me too. So that was at the end of 2017, and he gave me a choice, and I said, actually, I'm going to decide to leave, and I'm going to find my way. I'm going to build my own castle. That's what I remember him saying, like that he was building a castle. I thought to myself, I got to build my own castle. So life. Fast forward to 2020. Fast forward to 2020. I was in a Starbucks on 14th Street in Midtown, and when I walked in and sat down, I saw someone like to the right of me, in front of me, who looked familiar, and I was like, where do I know him from? And I was like, do I know him from UMD? So UMD, University of Maryland, College Park. That's where I graduated. Go Terps. Fear the Turtle. Woohoo. And he looked familiar. So before I left, I got up and I said, hey, did you go to UMD? And he said, yeah, this was Chris Lane. And he said, yeah, I did. And so we chopped it up a little bit. And then he was telling me that he had been in Atlanta for, I think, a year or so at that point. I had been there for at least at least 3 and some change. And he said he had, he was into sound design, had a company, and, you know, worked with an artist. And I was like, cool. So we exchanged, you know, information, talked a little bit, and, you know, fast forward to a couple months later, he asked if I wanted to help him co-write a song for a play that he was sound designing. And I said, yeah, what are you talking about? So I went over to his place. We wrote, that was my first session with Chris, and it was really good, really got along. I think we had 2 sessions, and that's when, you know, COVID happened and things got shut down. So that was put on pause. Still kept in touch, though, in between, here and there. A year later, I was in a position where I was looking for beats because I wanted to write again. I wasn't sure if I was trying to create a project specifically or just wanted to, like, build my catalog. But I hit up some producer friends that I knew mainly from the DMV, and I said, hey, do you have anything you can send me? Da-da-da-da-da. And when I hit up Chris, he was the only one to really be like, you know, well, what's your vision as an artist? To really pose that question to me, which got my attention because nobody had really cared about my vision as an artist. And it's something that I really had to think about. And he was like, you know, if you want to take this seriously, and of course this is not verbatim, but this was the whole mood and the conversation of what we had. You know, I definitely love you for you to meet Atelomidis and you know, see if we can actually like work together to help you build yourself as an artist. And I was like, hell yeah. So we had a mapping meeting that was in March 2021. And, you know, all 3 of us were just talking. We realized just how we were all aligned and like what we wanted to accomplish as creative minds and things like that. And so then we started writing and everything. I think like a month or 2 later. But yeah, that's essentially how it happened. Like I recognized someone from back home who I didn't know in college at all. I don't remember talking to him once in college. I think I just saw him in passing. And then, you know, once we both graduated years later,
here you are.
I see him. We're the same. And I do notice too, like, no matter what happens, I always make the best stuff with people back home. I really do. Like, there's something undeniable about working with someone who, Chris is not from the DMV per se. He's from Baltimore, but still Maryland. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and then Chris connected me to Atelomidis, who co-producer, co-writer, also artist himself, and then, you know, other people on their team. So the whole team, his whole company is called Multiband Studios, and they specialize in theater sound design.
Nice.
They also have lighting and things like that. And so a lot of talented, essentially entrepreneurial collective of people. So he has a big vision for it to expand, but I met him at Atelomidis, and then JT is an amazing pianist, also up and coming actor, and you know, it's through them that I was connected to more.
Okay.
So that's my team. I love them. We work great. I would not change anything we went through. I would, well, maybe some things, but I'd be lying. But yeah.
So, you have one?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay. Multitasking myself here. Eric says hi.
Oh, hey, Eric. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Eric is one of our new consistent viewers. He is.
Hi, Eric.
I love him. He's good people. We're going to get him on next because he has a very, very interesting perspective of life and the things that he has lived. It's wonderful. So, Eric, I promise you, the next episode, which is in 2 weeks, you up. We got you.
You up next, Eric?
I really don't want to ask this question yet because it means we're coming down to close near the end of my questions for this interview. But okay, so because I'm loving the energy and I'm loving finding out stuff I didn't know about you. Like,
really?
For real? I'm like, because we talk a lot and have talked, but I feel like you told me a lot. I'm like, how did I know? This never come up. What?
I like to be a mystery. Just a little bit.
So let's get into what has been in the private virtual listening parties that you had.
Oh yeah.
The consistent number one fandom song is what I'm calling the soon-to-be summer anthem. I wanted to call it something else, but I was told we're not calling it that right now. So we're gonna call it the soon-to-be summer anthem, and we're gonna play it for y'all. Y'all gonna hear it in a little bit. Friends, Frands. Okay. How'd you come up with it? Why is it spelled that way?
Why is it spelled that way?
Like, I know you talked about it then, but most of our listeners didn't hear it, so...
Yeah.
Frands?
Yeah.
You know.
What was the first question? How did I write it?
How'd you come up with
Okay.
it? What was
What inspired
process?
it?
Yeah.
Play by play. Friends. Friends was inspired by a bad experience and longing to have an inner circle in Atlanta. I'm definitely someone who has gotten to know a lot of people here over the years, and just even before moving to Atlanta, I'm very much so like a can adapt to different groups type of person. So but I realized, I guess in year 5, that's when we were writing and everything, like I still hadn't had that core group of friends in Atlanta. And social media, you watch it, you see people from college, like big groups of like 8 to 10 still doing stuff together, going on trips and even small stuff. And I was just like, dang, I really want that. But I've also just never really been that type of person. I'm more so like I have like a one-on-one, not a huge group. Let's not digress. But I was just longing for that here. And specifically too, because the whole vibe itself is very fun, it's very upbeat, very vacation, very summer, hence summer anthem. And that year I went on my first trip to Miami with someone. At the time it was a former coworker of mine. I'm not very spontaneous. And I decided, you know what? She wants me to go. I want to go to Miami. This should be fun. We have some fun stuff planned, or she does. So I said, yeah, I'm going to go. It was just a day trip.
Right.
And I had only known her for a few months. And it was just not a fun time.
Gotcha.
It just wasn't. The stuff that we did, the activities, went to, the Versace mansion and this beach, and it was beautiful, but our personalities did not click.
Gotcha.
And I didn't enjoy myself at the end of it. I think even during it, like, there was like an unnecessary argument that happened. But so I was like, damn, like I went to Miami for the first time and I didn't enjoy it.
Look, it does matter who you travel with.
It matters so much. I spent all
Everybody
this
can't
money,
go with you,
bro. Like,
right?
so it was too like dang, like I can't even like grab someone to go on special trips with, So Friends was birthed from longing to have that. So it was kind of claiming what I wanted before it actually happened. I would say now I can say that I have a good, and this includes my team too. I think I have my 5, and even more than that, to be honest. But we're all not like in the same group. But
Right.
I feel like there are people I can call, like for sure, for tough times, to be picked up from the airport, to go out for a drink. And I didn't have that just, I feel like 2-3 years ago. So that's how it was birthed. Why it's spelled that way. So when I think about the people in my life and just their impact on me and how grateful I am, I just get excited. And then I get excited and I'm smiling and I say, that's my friends. So that's how I say it. That's just how I say it. People don't have to say it like that, but I just thought that was very specific to how, when I'm in that space of gratitude, like how I say it when I'm excited. So that's
So
why
it
it's
kind of
spelled
comes from
with
a
A.
place of joy.
Yeah, for sure. 1,000%.
I love that.
Yeah.
I got to backtrack because when you were talking, I realized I didn't ask a question that I wanted to ask. And I'm like, how did I not ask that? But I feel like it fits perfectly here too. So, before I get to my song, Um, if you could describe your sound,
Oh, I hate this question.
how would you? I'm not going to ask you to compare it to someone else because that's, to me, I feel like that's the normal artist type question. I feel like it's does an artist no good to compare themselves to someone else who's further along than where they are.
Mm-hmm.
But how would you describe your sound? If someone were to say, okay, tell me the sound of Lex Division, where does she fit in, even if you have to take chunks from different places, how would I describe your sound?
I would say my sound is very bold. I would say it's dynamic and has range. I would say, and I'm just talking specifically about this project because if you listen to my stuff before this project, under Lex, make sure you type effort after Lex effort. It sounds completely different. Mm-hmm. So I would say with this in particular, it's bold, it's dynamic, showing my range. It's cinematic. Very cinematic.
Yeah.
The sound design that my team did is impeccable. That's a constant. Out of a lot of positive feedback, that's a constant thing which I love. And it's very emotional. It's very emotional, and I don't just say that from a place of sadness or something sentimental, because I think, at least that's what I think about first when I think emotional, personally.
Mm-hmm.
But joy is an emotion.
Right, exactly. So it's, and I guess this is where the range comes in, like not just the range and that I am thankful to have with my voice, but just from anger to regret to sadness to joy. So I just, it's very authentic. It's very authentic in anything that I make. I enjoy myself, which has to be it every time. So did that answer the question?
You did. You
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Good.
So we're not going to end the segment without talking about my favorite track. Listen, I promise you. So listen, when you get this EP, like, first of all, listen to it in order because it is a story.
It's a story. It's a great
It
story.
absolutely is. And I learned that being in the virtual listening party. It's absolutely a story. But the close of the story is my favorite track called Last Time.
The last time. See, that's where you want to put the
That's where the thug goes.
That's where the thug goes. The Last Time is, oh my God, it is this epic amalgamation, I love that word, of just journey and reflection and empowerment and push forward. It is so much of everything, right? Where did all this come from?
Where'd the last time come from?
Yes. What was the inspiration for? Where did it come from? Because that's a, it is, oh my God.
Like,
It is-
realistically, it's nothing I have ever heard
Yes.
before. And
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
it
Nothing you've
is.
ever heard before.
It's nothing I ever heard before. And for me,
Wow.
I'm a lyricist. Like, lyrics matter to me. When I hear a song, like, I visualize it in my head, and that's when I know that song is, that it has a meaning. Like, I can't do the whole mumble rap thing. I could twerk to it, and that's about it.
Right.
But-
We could twerk. Teach me. I have a different approach. It still works for me. But this is a real thing. Know your strengths.
Right.
Live in them. Okay.
I came from the back everything up era. Yep. But like, so for me, like, when I heard that, like, it literally, like, in my mind, I could see me, and I
wow.
could see younger me, and hugging my younger self. Like,
Wow.
I was listening to it yesterday.
Get ready to come out.
No, I'm trying to stop it. I was listening to it yesterday, and I was like big me looking at little me. Like, for everybody who knows me, like if you knew me in elementary school, like I was synonymous with my 2 ponytails.
Yeah.
Little chunky girl with big glasses and 2 ponytails.
Yeah.
And me like letting her know like this is temporary.
Wow.
Like for everything that you don't like about you now, this will serve you later. Like, so I just as one of your on this side as one of your fans of that song, I
Yeah.
so appreciate it.
Wow.
It is.
That's so good.
Like the first time I heard it, I was one of the privileged ones to be able to hear it before all of y'all got to hear it. I got the sneak peek only because I got to help produce the behind the scenes stuff.
Right.
And I heard it and I was like, oh my God, this is like we were doing the friends and family listening party,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
And you couldn't see me because my back was to you, which is wonderful. It was dark in the room. But I was literally fighting back tears.
Really?
Because it hits like that. Because that song is me. It is a me type of sentiment. It is a me type of thought. It has my ear for the way it's stylistically done. I'm like, God, dog. And when you got to the part where you just start talking, and you're talking to yourself, and who's the young lady who does the younger version?
Oh, Zaya Darden.
Shout out to you, because she did a phenomenal job too. The way y'all and I pay attention to details. So I'm hearing the scribble of the pen,
Yep.
and I'm like, she's not just talking to her; she's writing a letter to her. Oh my God! And it messed me up. And much like you, I could see my younger self,
Wow.
but because how my vision works, I didn't just see my younger self talking to my younger self. I saw me having a conversation with my older self and asking questions like, is it going to get better from here though? I know I'm telling this point it's going to get better,
wow.
but from where I'm at, does it work? And just hearing that, hang in there, it's going to be. I was like, God, dog, this song was ridiculous. Like you did your thing with that. Oh my God. I promise you. I could talk. I could literally. I'm not gonna do it. But I could literally talk about that song all day.
Yeah.
Whenever I have referenced you to people, I talk about that song first. It encapsulates the range that you were talking about. It because it's not just for. You just got to hear it.
I mean, you can play a clip too.
No, I ain't.
No.
Because you can't. That's not a song you can just play a little bit of. You got to play the whole
Yeah, you got to
thing.
experience it from beginning to
Yeah.
end. That's true.
Get to EP.
That's
true.
definitely
You
one of those
understand what I'm
songs
talking
where
about.
you like need to put your headphones on so you can like the sound. Shout out to your engineers.
Yes.
The sound of it just envelops you. It's a moment.
So let me, and I'll speak
Darken
on
the
that
room,
too.
Light some candles.
I'll
Get
speak
you a
on that
little.
too. That's
if you're a
good.
drinker, get you a glass of wine or something. Yeah, it's gonna take you through. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Okay. How did it come to be? So, what was happening? The last time was written last year in 2022. It was, I feel like it was a little bit before I told the team, hey, we got to put out our project versus what I was going to do before. Atello Midas.
Shout out, sir.
We love him. He was the one who, I can't remember what he said entirely, but I think he felt like we needed to make one more song to kind of round it out because it's like what happens after Friends. And so he was the one who took it, and I think he started playing around with some words or something. But he spearheaded it, and I'm trying to think because it's so hard for me to fully remember. But I'll do it the best that I can. It was the longest one to write too. It was the hardest one to write because, like how y'all can connect with different parts of yourself now and then, which is beautiful. I like how you guys can put yourself into it, which I think is really powerful. I was dealing with myself to write that, which is I think why it took so long. And also there was a different concept that I had before as well. So after we had pretty much finished writing all the songs and stuff before we get into mixing and mastering them, I just kind of felt like there wasn't enough tying them all together. And at first I was like, hey, because I guess the reason that this really came to be to this point was, you know, me going to therapy being a major factor. I was like, let me kind of have a therapist in this throughout the entirety of the project. That's what was going to happen before. And I forgot and I think it was going to be a therapist and my younger self the whole time. And so I wrote parts for both, either in between songs or like woven within some of the songs. And I sent it out to a couple people whose voices I felt like could fit. But because they're not actors, this is a lesson. And shout out to them if they're listening. Like, I love y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. And I appreciate you taking the time. But it didn't quite, they weren't able to deliver in the way that I heard in my head. And I also just like things happen, like there's certain schedules got all, you know what I'm saying? So I said, this is starting to feel forced and I don't want that. Like, it's not working. So let me change it. So that's when, like, for instance, in Uncaged, at the end of Uncaged, which is the first track, add the laughing and the skit there. For Stretch, during the second half, I go through saying needed validation, accepted bad attention. That was like a little bit. So like there were little like nuggets to connect everything together. And then just the last time, I really had to go to a very like deep place to write what I wrote for me and Zaya, because even though I wouldn't say my life was hard, like I dealt with a lot of feelings of feeling excluded and outcasted, and like I couldn't connect with other people, hence why I'm such a group hopper. Like I adapt because I'm good at it, and then I also adapt because of trauma. So I remember I was in my bedroom one night and I just couldn't stop thinking about this specific moment. I was on a Girl Scout trip. I hated Girl Scouts. Like, looking back, like, that was just I was in it for too long. And, you know, during that time, like, I just let a lot of just rude things happen to me, like adults doing like rude things. And one of the Girl Scout leaders, I remember, and this is kid stuff, but this really impacted me at that age. We made s'mores, and I had a s'more, and then somehow I was able to get another s'more. And then she saw that I got two instead of just one, and she said, "You can't have another one." But then she took it, and then she ate it in front of my face.
Wow.
In front of my face.
The audacity.
And I was hurt. I was so hurt. I was like, but it's just like, I just dealt with a lot of situations, like small things of just adults just wrongfully, like, just doing like some like little like shady shit. And it just really like built up over time, and it made me afraid to kind of really do anything wrong or that wasn't right. I was just always like overthinking. And just going back to that night in my bedroom, I just remember envisioning myself, like my current self, going back to that moment, because it was a sad moment for me, like through a portal. And going back to that camping trip and finding me, like, and talking to me, like, in the woods. And I really wish I could convey just what that whole night in my room was, because a lot happened to the point where it helped me to connecting with my younger self and comforting her in the way that I did, like mentally and visually, helped me to actually be able to connect with having like a daughter in the future, which I've always wanted but could never like
visualize.
Like, yeah, I always told myself I'm gonna have a son. I know his name. I feel like I can feel him in my belly if I could have the moment, you know. But I always said I feel like after this, like I can have a daughter and actually, it's gonna sound bad, but like actually like really love her, you know? So that was a lot. I was crying. It was very emotional. I was by myself in my room. And then that's what helped to write The Last Time and all the elements that came together with that. Zaya is someone who's like a niece to me in a way. Her family has given to me in the past in such a powerful way when I was down and out. And so it was nice to be able to call on them and call on her and her enjoy it and hear it back, and for her to deliver in the way that she did. It was very easy. That's how I knew. I was like, oh yeah, this is the one. And yeah, the pages, that was something I added at the last minute because I wanted to make sure y'all knew what was happening, to connect it all. So yeah, I feel like that was a little long-winded, but
No, it was good. I promise you, it was good. I can see all of that
yeah.
as you were talking about. I could see it, and because I know the song, I'm like, I can feel. It gives you even a deeper connection with it. I can feel it. Like y'all, listen to this song. I ain't gonna play it, but go to Spotify, Amazon,
Wherever you hear
Apple,
listening
Tidal.
music at.
Tidal, get Lotus, and I promise you, go in order. But when you get to The Last Time, you
gonna hit you.
understand what I'm talking about. You're gonna need a moment afterwards.
I also forgot to mention, The Last Time was actually mixed differently than all the other ones too. It was mixed manually, like analog. So
That's the difference.
that's why that's the difference.
It has a different feel.
For sure. And yeah, it just took so long to write. I think I rewrote it like 3 or 4 times, and that was even after scrapping the first idea. So it took a long time.
I promise you.
Look, some of the best things come from a long time, even
Man.
though like you know, and I know Ashley not listening right now, but you know, 41 weeks and 36 hours of labor, like look, some of the best things come out, like the birthing process.
It takes time.
It takes time. She was like, "Mom, stop."
I have a baby now.
Right.
So
Not looking forward to that.
here's my last question before we play Friends for y'all. I know that I was debating on which one I was going to ask. I was going to ask about, you know, if you've taken a moment to breathe and things like that since the release. But I'm not going to ask that because I know the answer to that. And I'm not going to make you give the answer to that. So I'll say it this way. Being that your name is Lex the Visionary, that says to me you're a forward-thinking person, right? So where does Lex the Visionary go from here? Like, what is your goal, not only for this project, but for yourself as an artist?
My goal for this project is to, I feel like any artist, just get it into as many ears as humanly possible. This is definitely the first time I've been intentional about having a marketing strategy, having, you know, a budget, what I have right now as an independent artist to consistently use to promote it. So it's just about getting the numbers up, you know, to make an EPK, to then pitch to perform and actually tour. So like there are definitely different markers that we're looking to hit overall, to actually put me in a position where the artistry is feeding me. So yeah, I just want as many people to hear it and be impacted by it as possible, and then to just pair it with amazing visuals in due time. I have ideas for that too. So, and I think just overall for me as an artist, what is my goal for me as an artist? I just want to be able to do this, and I always say this, just as freely and without limitation as I can. Like, that's always the goal. Because the minute it starts feeling like work, or the minute it starts... Sorry, I got to burp, y'all. It's watermelon. Excuse me. The minute... I just wanna do selfishly, like, be able to do it how I want to do it when I want to do it, and I want to be happy with whatever I put out, and I want to be known for just bringing something, I guess, too, like, new to the table, or like opening a door for different sounds. Some of my influences today are people who broke down certain doors, like Tyler the Creator and Childish Gambino and Kid Cudi, like people who really took lanes and they made certain things cool that weren't, to bring up the next generation of artists. So I feel like I can be that for what I put out, and that's what I'm really excited to be able to do while keeping my sanity.
Keeping your sanity is absolutely
Staying grounded along the way. But I think that's the ultimate goal, aside from the freedom to do it and how I want to do it and with who I want to do it. Just opening that door, being a trailblazer, for sure.
all right.
I most definitely can see that. Like, as an artist, I think we are as consumers, we're in an era that we are done with the cookie cutter. Like, we don't need nobody else's backstory to be a stripper. We don't. No offense to everybody who it is. No, because, like, don't get me wrong. I love Cardi. I love women of color and expressing their joy. But we don't need more of that. We need people to be diverse and authentically them. And at some point, we have to break the mold of it. And I definitely see you in the category of the her and the SZA, and like, don't, like, just being authentically who you are. Like, don't be who you think we want. Be you, and let us appreciate that.
Right.
Yeah, like, even like one of my favorite artists who's like that is Lauryn Hill. Like, I know she is in her old age flaky, but
She's a big influence too.
yeah, but like, be authentically. We don't need you to be anybody else. We just want to appreciate you, and you to have the space and opportunity to just flow and be you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I speak that into your future.
I receive that. That's the goal. I can't believe I didn't say the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Too late now.
That's in my top 5. Just so y'all know. Dang, bro. Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. We did at this table. I don't care who says what, but Justin Bieber's Changes album was great. Kendrick's second album, To Pimp a Butterfly, love that album. I forgot my 5th. Come back later, maybe.
The 5th is Lotus. That's your
Lotus.
I promise you, listen. Once again, these tracks, they gon'. You know how if you know how to have an ear for music and how to have an ear for a great singer, you will love this EP. I'm gonna say it's simple. Go ahead and play Friends. You're a new school, old school throwback.
A new school, old school throwback? What does that mean?
So you bring a new school style. So you're young, you're modern, you do those things, right? But when I hear your voice, I'm taken back to when real singers sang.
Interesting.
Like, you have an ability, and hearing the EP, you'll really understand what I'm talking about for y'all who ain't heard it yet. Like, you can do the synthesize and that stuff and all the bells and whistles that the artists now have. But I could also see you sitting down by a piano and just doing MTV Unplugged. For y'all who know what MTV Unplugged,
The Lauryn Hill Unplugged.
Yeah.
Like, that was I miss MTV Unplugged because that separated the artists from
that aired some people out.
Yeah.
Some folk we found out.
Aaliyah, I was heartbroken.
We had a conversation about Aaliyah not too long ago where I was like, you know what I'm starting to understand? Aaliyah really wasn't all that good. It was everything around her. And we hold Aaliyah in high esteem because she's dead now.
Yeah.
Like, rest in peace, Aaliyah, and all that other stuff that people like to say.
Like, for her time, she was great for. But I was like
She
that.
wasn't right for her time. She really wasn't. She was. She just. It was the stuff around her. Like, go back and listen to her stuff and watch. It's not the. Don't listen to the album stuff.
Listen,
Like, go watch the.
go live that live MTV Unplugged. I was like, ooh.
Like, there's a
That was
difference
raw.
when you let your background singer shine. Like, people give Alicia Keys some crap because what was one of her background singers out-sang her. But I'm like, she really gave them the platform to do so. She pulled
Right.
back on her voice,
Like Mariah
so they
Carey
could
with
shine.
Kelly Price.
Yeah, Aaliyah wasn't doing that. Aaliyah's singers she was giving her everything, and it was like, ooh. Maybe you shouldn't be the artist right now. Like, she had the package,
Right.
but didn't have everything else to go along with the package. You had all of it. You can do all the things, and then strip all of it away and say, "Just hear my voice." Now what?
I received that, and it's like, to be honest, I feel like the only song where you can really hear my singing voice is The Last Time. And even then, I'll be honest with you, like, this is another thing. I wanted to re-record the entire Last Time.
Is that because you're your own worst critic, though?
She's a perfectionist.
Because it was, yeah, and they told me no. I'm glad. See, this is why you need people in your life to tell you no. Because I'm glad that it didn't happen, because it probably wouldn't have felt the same. But it's interesting, like, and you hear me sing, like, outside of my EP too. So it's like, I feel like I have yet to actually showcase, like, what my voice can really do. And so I guess I see myself, like, wanting people to really know that I can sing as well. But then also I have to remind myself, well, Lex, this is the era that you're in with what you want to do. You like what you put out. Like, don't worry about whether you can sing or not, because you can. It's just not the time to make stuff, or you have to feel it, you know? And I mean, you know, with the lead, it's not just about your talent, like your voice anymore anyway.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not.
It's a lot
but
of things.
I feel like
It's a lot of factors.
I really feel like you are one of the people who will bring that back. Like, yeah, have all the stuff, but as opposed to the stuff being the forefront and being the thing, it's gonna be the talent. So I liken it to kind of the arc of what I know of hip hop, right? Hip hop at its origin was all about the DJs and how good the DJs were, and the MCs were kind of just there, just hyping the DJ up. Then there came a point where the MC came to the forefront because of how talented they were and their pen game, and the DJ and the producers, they were the background. Let's get something to accentuate your voice. And lyricism became a thing, and how you present and all that.
Yeah.
And now we've gotten to a place where, hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hit a hard beat, and everybody's gonna love my stuff because the beat is hard. Back to the DJs, but you're not doing anything. And with AI, it's gonna get worse than that. But
AI.
you are a throwback where you can exist in any era. You can exist in the Motown era. You can exist in the 90s. You can exist in now and be able to say, hey, listen, yeah, this is great, but watch this. Cut the music and I'm still singing, and it still be dope. And y'all will follow me wherever I go.
That is a compliment.
That's something that don't happen no more. Like, I don't know how y'all young folk buy concert tickets. I swear I don't. Because I would go
Ooh,
to
especially
concert
for
and
the
be
prices.
mad.
I'm like, look, I'm gonna need some of my money back. Like, seriously. But no, I think musically we are coming to an era where we are getting to a place where it is we can't take. Don't get me wrong, I love the new version of Little Mermaid, but I also appreciate the fact that they didn't stick with the original.
Yes.
They didn't remake a cartoon. They gave it more depth, more feeling. They gave more tension. They gave a little more leaning into the emotion of the love and passion and desire. For as much you could do, you know, keep it PG-13.
Right, for sure.
Right. You know.
PG-13?
What?
It's PG.
I feel like it was PG.
It was just PG. Okay. Well, so yeah, for as much you could do, like, but we don't need remakes anymore. We need to some of the newer artists that I'm starting to discover, like Alex Vaughn.
Oh yeah, DMV artist.
Yes, amazing. I need her. Go ahead, have a little tummy, girl.
She
Go
got you,
ahead,
yeah.
get it. You.
What did she say? Well, no. What was the lyric?
Oh God, I can't think of the lyrics
Dang,
now.
right?
I hate that.
Who's the girl from earlier? Did we ever find her?
She's
Yes,
looking.
Lady London.
Lady London.
Yes. Yeah, people like her, people like Wei Anye.
Stop hallucinating on some lame ass niggas.
Yes.
That's that girl. That's the line.
Like those kind of artists.
What's the good song?
Yeah, you good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
How
cuss.
was it?
But yeah, like people being them authentic self and whatever your expression is. Like people, here's one of the things, and I gave him crap for it too. I admit it. Like I don't need Drake to be gangster. You came from a good household. You came from privilege. You started acting.
Parents had a real good marriage.
Right, own it. Like I don't need you to be like, yeah, because I'm so. Don't do that, Drake. Be okay with who you are. Be like Pharrell. Be nerdy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Be out of the box. Be different. Like we need that. We no longer need this. We don't need machines and factory stuff anymore. We need people to
That's
show.
special.
Right. We need people to show other people that real people still exist.
So on that note, and Erico, feel free to ask your question even while the song is playing. I'll make sure to get it up. Eric, first of all, Eric is getting ready to become a fan. He said he's got to check out your music.
Yeah.
So
Please,
that's
and let me
gonna
know.
work. He got it in. He said, "We're okay." Pop it up here and read at the same time. Where do you think K-pop future is and the impact it has on Western culture? I like mixing different genres, like Old Town Country Road, mixing different genres. What are your thoughts? Since you're the artist, like
To be honest with you, I don't listen to K-pop.
me either. That's why I couldn't answer that question.
I can't
Like,
answer it. Eric, I'm sorry. I don't have any thoughts on it.
I mean, so like I'm not totally diverse with K-pop, but I have an eclectic ear. So I think at this point they have reminiscence of like Motown Philly, like Boys to Men. So they're diverging and bringing back to our remembrance with stuff that actually came from us. So I've yet to see any of the mainstream artists use their influence, but I think they definitely have a place. And I think that as far as music goes, we need more of that. We don't need every person of every color to be a rapper. You don't need
I miss R&B.
Right, you don't need a every color Meg Thee Stallion. You don't need a every color, Offset and Migos. We don't need a every race. We just need people to be you. So I
Right.
appreciate K-pop because it is their culture, their music, and we get a look into it. So I definitely see, like, especially as far as the billions of dollars that they are making.
And making bank.
Right, like everything. I need us to. As much as I'm a huge hip hop fan, I go way back. I can remember the first time hearing it. I was like, "This is for me." But I don't need everything to be hip hop. I think we have diluted it in its commercialism. So I'm open to other different genres of music. If K-pop has some influence, do that. Like, but we don't need to be one faceted. I think we need to be multifaceted as cultures and different music. So I appreciate them. Now, have I bought any of it? Absolutely not. But let me be honest with you, I ain't bought like a lot. I stream. I ain't bought a whole bunch of stuff lately.
We're old. They don't buy.
Right. Like, I ain't bought nothing since CDs went out.
Right.
No, I take that back. I downloaded and I purchased. The last album I bought was Rihanna's Anarchy. That was the last thing I actually paid for. But
I got you.
And so on that note, and without further ado, we built up the anticipation enough. And listen, it is right now, since most people think that summer has starts after Memorial Day weekend, it is the summer bop. I promise you, you're gonna hear this. You're gonna know this is a summertime anthem. You're gonna be able to take your friends out.
Look, it's Pride Month. If I don't see no videos
Wow.
playing this, I better see some TikToks. I better see, like, because this is when you get to just be authentically you with your friends. Like,
Your friends.
I'm sorry, your friends.
You gotta say it like that.
I got to say it how it's
See,
pronounced.
I think it's crazy. Like, people are starting to say it like that. I'm like, that was the point.
That's part of the pool, though. Because it's a
is.
different way to say it. It's a different way to look at it. And when it is said, everyone who knows, like, you must have heard Lexa's song. That's how it works. So, yeah, no, embrace that. So, without further ado, this is Friends.
When you're looking up at the after party or the backyard Barbie, or your backseat crying, do you have somebody? When you're looking around, are the eyes that stare really the ones who care? Especially when you haven't got nowhere. Truth is, life's a lot. Sometimes you finna get caught, discombobulated or not. It's nice when you're around the people you want. It don't matter the place. It don't matter the place. The place. No matter the place. I'm with my friends. I'm with my friends. I'm with my friends. I'm with my friends. I'm with my shaking, straight Cali quaking like a mushroom cloud. Am I gonna make it? Is you feeling mad? Lost, swirling in a cycle, straight depressive cycles. Some days I can barely fight through. Life's a lot. Sometimes you finna get caught, discombobulated or not. It's nice when you're around the people you want. It don't matter the place. It don't matter the place. I'm with my friends. I'm with my friends. I'm with my friends. I'm with my friends. I'm with my
All right. We back. And for y'all who don't know, that was Friends by our good friend Lex the Visionary. Yay! Off of her EP, her debut EP, Lotus. It is amazing.
So proud.
I'm also going to use that as our commercial break for our sponsors. We're going to get ready to get into this second topic in just a second. Please make sure to pick up Lotus everywhere you can download or stream. Go to Tidal, go to Amazon, go to Apple, go to Spotify, go to wherever you can find one.
Use it in your Instagram reels and stories and TikToks and all the things. It's everywhere.
Because you know you brunching. You know it's the summertime. You know you brunching. You know you shopping. You know you traveling. We know everybody got tickets to go to Miami.
Oh, facts.
So You need that song. This is what you need to display with your friends. Like,
Matter of
celebrate them.
Matter of fact, I want to see a couple. I don't have TikTok, so my wife will have to tell me about it. But I want to see a couple TikTok challenge dances to the song. That's how you do it. It's a bop.
And
That's how you make it go.
And there will be a friends challenge that I'll
There-
start.
You mean the friends challenge?
A friends challenge. Hashtag friends challenge. This summer, stay tuned. You can follow me at Lex the Visionary on all platforms to keep an eye out. Lex the Visionary.
Please make sure to follow her. Please make sure to also big her up and let her know how great her EP is and how great these songs are, because they are. I'm not looking. She'll say give her honest feedback, and I'll say give her the great feedback, because the great feedback is going to be honest feedback. Because if you don't like her EP, you just don't like music. I said it, and you might not even have a soul. You may need to come to High Praise Music to pray for you.
You had to double check to do a soul check.
Right.
I'm trying to see, is there something there? Hold on.
Delivered. You got a little delivered. All right. Let's get into our second topic. Have a little bit of fun. Well, not so much fun. Take the fun portion yet. It's not as heavy, but interviews aren't heavy. But anyway, we're going to get into our second topic. So we just heard the song Friends. I feel like this is... Oh, wait. No, we haven't talked about her yet. We going to save her, but I'll give the shout out anyway. Eric, he said, have we talked about Tina Turner and the impact she had on the music industry?
Ooh.
Oof.
A performer.
She was everything. First of all, let's keep it clear. Like,
Ooh.
Tina was, to me, Tina was like, and I know she before my time, but also in my time. She's timeless. She is that artist who I feel like really paved the way more so than probably any other female artist for any women's empowerment movement that you want to talk about, any breakthrough artists and breaking glass ceilings. Like, she was that dude. And yes, I said she was that dude. I know what I'm talking about. She was it. Like, you would not have Beyonce without Tina. You wouldn't have Janet.
The fact that she
without
got a
Tina.
chance to perform with her.
I'm saying.
Iconic.
And Homegirl was performing into her 70s. Stuff a whole lot of young new artists can't do. Anyway, she was that. Like, and if for all y'all super young people who don't really understand how great Tina was, go ahead and watch Angela Bassett play her in What's Love Got to Do With It. It's gonna break your heart. It's gonna hurt you, but you're gonna understand what this woman, Anna Mae Bullock, Tina Turner, what she went through to become the icon that she is. And then you'll be able to see a lot of your newer favorite artists in her. And to find out, and to just remember some of the songs that she has that was just everywhere. Like, I was, just... Don't get me started on Tina. I'm getting old.
But I think she's a great example of that, living your truth and being authentically you, especially when they tried to pigeonhole her into that Diana Ross, that candy-coated Motown era. And that wasn't she. Like, when she got a chance to come to herself.
Yeah.
And get to the point where no matter what, I will not be defined by no man. I authentically want to be me as an artist, and I'm not an R&B artist. Like, she was a rock artist. That's what she considered herself.
She was.
It's like so outside, especially for that era, especially for like us as Black women. Like, she was like, no, I'm like, yes. Be you. Do all of that. Have all of the hair. Show all of the legs. Wear the fishnets. Do all of that. And be you. Do all of that. Because it's authentically you. So, like, those kinds of artists, we can't help but to appreciate.
Yeah.
That's where the icons come from.
Very
the people
true.
being themselves, unapologetically.
She just always let it go. She was so infectious. And on stage, off stage, even through all the bullshit happening in the back. And to be honest, in this, I'm happy she was able to live into her 80s, right? With all of that, because especially when you're in the entertainment industry too, that is a different type of beast. So for her to like endure and come out and to live, I feel like a decently long life. is beautiful. Tina Turner, like, because I've watched that, and I've also watched her documentary on HBO. I love artist documentaries. I watch as many as I can, and I want to revisit it again. But she's a legend. She's a legend.
Like, she was amazing. I figured I was going, since I'm not going to play one of her hit, one of the ones everybody always sings of, but stuff like this she did that was just everywhere that people don't always think about. We Don't Need Another Hero.
Oh yeah.
I used to hear this song everywhere as a kid. Like, people don't understand the impact that she had. Forget just the impact, but like, she had classics. She comes from an era of classics. They wrote and sung timeless songs. And what I love about her, she did it her way. I love how in the movie where they're getting ready to do Proud Mary, and she starts out by saying, "We don't do anything nice. Everything we do is rough." But while she's doing it, she's singing soft and nice. To show you, I can do it if I want to.
But I just don't want to.
So we're going to go ahead and go back to Get It Rough. And she had that edge to her. She was one of a kind. She is one of those that you don't think about how great she is until her name is mentioned. And it's kind of sad because she's never really in the category of the Gladys Knight or the Patti LaBelle.
That's true.
But when you think about her, it's like, oh, shoot, she really should be, though. Because she was a monster.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Tina.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. All right, so bring it up, kind of. Okay, so here's a question that we have for our second topic, just to kind of bring it on home and everything. And it works well with friends. So I'm gonna keep saying it every time I say it when I reference the song. I'm gonna have to say it.
You and whoever else. It's popping in my head right now.
Wait till I figure out how high I want to take my voice to do it. Instead of just saying friends. I'm going up a couple.
You can just stay at the pitch of the song.
Right.
I'm partially tone deaf, so that don't work for me. So I'm gonna find them all.
Ready?
I'm hitting
Friends.
Friends.
See,
Friends.
he's gonna be problematic. You just walk away from him. And now for our next part of our segment.
This is when you can teach the song to
Right.
an audience. You can be like, let me go to the left side.
Right.
Friends. No, I'm playing. So, how does one know? This is a throwback for those who watched the podcast last week, or not last week, last
2 weeks
episode.
ago.
We dealt with some topics I feel like are still good to talk about and run back. So I don't know how much you know about the Ja Morant situation, and if you were a basketball fan or not. But Ja Morant, basically, long story short, basketball player for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm sorry, Memphis Grizzlies. And he was in a strip club. No, not strip club, just a club. And got on his IG Live and was flashing this little bitty pistol, like this big. It's a real gun. The NBA has a problem with that, right? So he got suspended for 8 games for that, and there was a whole big thing as to why and how and all the stuff that they did, right? So then he brings up this big old apology right before he's allowed to come back and play, which I guess his mea culpa was part of the condition to come back and play. And then 2 weeks later, this idiot is coming home from a club with his boy driving. He's in the back seat, boy driving, another boy in the passenger seat. And, you know, whatever hip-hop song they're listening to, his boy jumps on IG Live, and he's flashing the gun sign, right? But then pans in the back seat to Ja, who decides to flash a real gun after he just
Got suspended
for the same thing. And so there became this big conversation about, one, whose fault this is. Because his boy is the same boy who was around him when he flashed it the first time. And there's loads of controversy with Ja Morant and guns and gunplay. And one of his friends in the middle of a basketball game was pointing one of the little red pointers, laser pointers, at a player, and everybody thought that he had a gun, and it's really still unclear as of this day if it was a real gun or not, because they had beef with that player. And so John Moran got into a big scuffle, him and his daddy, with Shannon Sharp in the middle of a game, and Shannon Sharp was in the audience because he was a football player. It's a whole lot of stuff. So the conversation kept being around, okay, so is it him who's accountable? Is it his friends who are more accountable? And if it is his friends, at the level that he's at, when do you say, enough's enough, I think I need to step away from you? Because you're still in the place that I used to be that I can no longer dwell in. How do you know when to step away?
That's the question, or there's two questions? How do you know when to step away?
It's all encompassing. Jump in wherever you feel.
So, for me personally, within the past, I guess, few years, I have put the most effort that I have into friendships that I ever have. Just because that's just necessary when it comes to relationships with people on different levels. Like, you can't just stay in a grudge or walk away if things get hard, or if you're afraid of, I don't want to say confrontation because I'm not confrontational, but hard conversations and things of that nature, you can't just toss it. But for me, I feel like, and this is how I feel now in the current day, I think it's appropriate to walk away when you put the effort into it. This is maybe one circumstance where you put the effort into it, but like it's still clear that boundaries, like if you don't feel like you can't be yourself with that person, then why are you there? And that, I say that not to dismiss how the person might receive you, because maybe like there are certain things about you that they receive in a way that annoys them or frustrates them or whatever. But sometimes it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to change. Always try to become better and improve and hear people out. But I think at some point, if it's clear that, hey, like, if you always have, if someone always has an issue with you about something, and it's always you, it's like, and I don't have this issue with other people, then I'm like, okay, something's not changing. And I feel like I'm losing myself. I feel like I have to walk around needles around you. I feel like I have to, so that's one thing. I feel like there are so many, but from my personal recent experience, I just feel like when you're in a situation where that's the case, it's okay. So.
Yeah, I think you have to get, like, as we evolve as people, like, your circle changes. And I think that's okay. And I don't think it's that, like, especially for a young man like him, I'm not advocating because you make this amount of money and your bank account has these many zeros in it. It's to the point where people are trying to hold you to the old you and not allowing you to grow.
Good. Yeah.
Then you can't grow with me. Like, the older I've gotten, my circle is super duper small, and it's getting even smaller than I thought it was. Like, it's steady shrinking, but I think it's a good thing. I still allow space for new friends to come in, like unexpected people. Like, shout out to Sharice.
Shout out Sharice, who actually finally evolved. She told me an hour and a half ago she was going to be on the whole interview, but shout out Sharice.
But yeah, like I appreciate like people moving in and out of my circle who is supposed to be there. Like my best friend, like I didn't call her my best friend. Like she is my sister at this point. Like Karen has evolved with me over time. And when I made the transition in my life from, because let me just be honest with you, all of my hotels. She could. And she is not, as I transition into really walking in my relationship with God, like she did not, ooh girl, this is what you doing now. She was like, oh hey, I support you. You're transitioning from who I used to know to me knowing you who you are, and I'm okay with all of these people. Like we need foundational people in our group. And then there are certain people, like there used to be 3 of us, and your song Friends, like that was the 3 of us. We took trips and we had adventures, and if those walls could talk, thank God that we didn't have cell phones back then with cameras.
For sure.
But the 3 of us, we used to be 3 of us, and like my relationship, unfortunately, with one of the parties of the 3 amigos devolved over the course of time. And I'm like, hey, like you can't accept me in my growing stage, then we have to table this for right now. I don't like it, but if you can't accept me evolving because it's inconvenient for you, then how much of a friend are you truly being? And I think like Ja finds himself in that place. Like you have to find people who are willing to grow with you, or you have to show people the door. Like, and maybe it's not permanent, but like.
No, I'm locking the door behind you. Once I show that, I'm locking the door behind, because for me it's like this. I do, for his particular circumstance, also equate it to the amount of money he had. Because
more money, more problems.
Other people has way more to lose. So I get caught around the wrong friend. Yeah, he and I both probably go to jail. Cool, yeah. But he's losing millions of dollars in his contract.
Oh yeah, he lost an endorsement deal.
Millions of dollars in endorsements.
Yeah.
He's losing the opportunity to continue doing the thing that he's really freaking good at. And by the time he gets out, he may not be as good, and now he's got to figure out a whole new trade craft. I do business management. I do contracts. I go to jail and I can still do it. In jail and then get out of jail and do it. He goes to jail for 10 years. His career's over.
Yeah.
He's never making that up. So for me, his money also plays a part. But I'm of the opinion, like, if you're not going the same way I'm going, we probably don't need to be in the same vein. Like, you don't have to be going to the same place, but going the same way. That was the problem with Nip. Nipsey Hussle got killed because he was in an old place. I'm sorry, I know folk don't like to say it, but look, he was in the hood.
Right.
Nipsey made too much money to stay in the hood. You can give back to the hood and never have to go back to the hood. That dude should never have the opportunity to come at Nipsey.
Yeah.
Ever. But he felt loyal to the hood. He felt loyal to his people. And so I'm going to be here. I'm going to show them that there's a way out. And to me, I feel like the best way to show people that there's a way out is to get out. The best thing that y'all can do for some of those people he's been around that ain't doing better is to get away from them. Show them that there's life outside of here. I don't have to take you. Just let me show you. You're going to watch my games, right? So cool.
Yeah.
Watch my games and see my success. Go ahead and watch me in all my endorsements, all my interviews. Watch it happen. Figure out how you can do it. Now, I'll give back. I come from one of the smallest, hardest cities I know. A little small city called Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh, like 10, 15 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. Most people don't know it. We are a city that we birth great athletes. That's all we really do. We are responsible for Mike Ditka. We're responsible for Ty Law. Responsible for Darrell Reeves, people like that, Sean Gilbert. We have a list of people, because all we do is sports. We don't really do education. There's a whole other story. But like the thing that all of them did was get out. Every so often they would come back during football season and say, hey, and then get out.
Yeah.
And all of us were like, I want to be like him. I want to get out. Get out. Get away. You cannot. I cannot keep you if I'm trying to move forward and you're stuck there and don't have the ability to move forward. You got one shot with me. And I know that's probably a horrible thing to say, and as a pastor, I'm not supposed to say that at all. But it's true. You got one shot with me. That's why my circle is a dot. It literally is. I have a lot of people who would call themselves my friend. but you will probably never hear me refer to them as mine. I'm a friend of theirs to them, but
Yeah.
I know you. You're an associate. You're good people, but you're on the outside. I got a dot. My best friend in all of my life, he passed 2 years ago. So there's him. There's my friend Bianca, who she's my best female friend in life, and there is my boy Mike and Paul, who they're kind of on the inskirts, and they know this. That they're like brothers to me, but they're like not in the dot, but they're just outside of it. My friend Magnificent, same thing. She's just outside the dot. I've known them, and really, that's about it.
Yeah.
Like I would consider because they not only do they know me, but they're continually trying to move in a forward fashion to get someplace. I got a lot of folks who know of me, and I talk to them, I deal with them. Give me a smooth chance. Gotta go, because I cannot allow your baggage. I'm sorry, can't allow your baggage to hold me back, nor my push to drive you to a place you can't handle.
So when do you think it's worth to have a conversation about that with a friend? Like, say you're starting to feel that pull, like you're going further, they're staying here. Because I know for me, personally, it makes me think of some instances between present day and college. Like, these weren't close friends. They were people I was cool with, like maybe in a season, like we hung out a lot. But there would be instances where like they would always, complain about dealing with the same thing and go through a tough time. And it always kind of felt like that's all they could fixate on, like anytime we were talking. Or, they would always get themselves into trouble. And it felt like I was the more grounded, mature one and being able to give more. And so, those fizzled out. So I guess when do y'all feel like is the right time or the right friend to like actually have a conversation? So maybe, like you said, maybe it doesn't have to end. From my experience, those I just talked about, I'm glad they ended. I hope they're well. But when do you think is the time to like talk to the friend and maybe instead of end it, create space? Or are you more so just like a cutoff move? Because I'm at a place where like once I start to see something, I automatically put you somewhere. I accept that place that you are. That could mean we're like this, or that could mean that we're like this now. But I don't make a formal thing, and I hope they catch the vibe. It's not bad. It's not so bad.
I mean, if you're a person who doesn't like confrontation, I could totally see, be like, hey, look, can we say what's not being said here? Like, you don't feel that? You don't feel that? Like, we were here and that you don't feel that? Okay. But I think, like, hopefully, and I will warn people with my own story with that, like, have that conversation as soon as it starts to be an issue. Like, people, I made the mistake of delaying that conversation. Yeah. Because I'm like, oh, well, right now you're just nostalgic and you will come around because I'm actually evolving into a place that you started me evolving to. And so this guy, like, when that happened, it was like an immediate, like, it was like, oh, great, that's cool, that's great. And then one day, out of the blue, skirt, car accident. I don't like it. Don't do it. You can't change. I need you to stay in this position. I'm like, whoa. You're not allowing room for my growth? We got a problem.
Yeah.
Because I supported you in all of your phases more than people know about, and I buried the bodies and I allowed you to just be you, and now it's not okay that I be me. And it went badly. When it went badly, it went badly. So I encourage people to have those conversations like as soon as it starts to stress. Like, you better not say not name.
I was gonna say a Trick's name. So I am different. I am, first of all, you actually have to become a friend of mine. It's not easy. I learned in college. There was this Jamaican chick that would sit at a table with a group of us, and she had this other Jamaican lady that she hung out with. They were both models or going the modeling career, as well as studying culinary something or other. But we all sat together. It was like 6 of us just sat together every day. And anytime you saw the one, you saw the other one. They roomed together. So it was one day she came to lunch. The other Jamaican chick wasn't there. So I said, "Where's your friend?" "Who?" "Your friend. Y'all always together." She said, No. Just because you see us together all the time does not make us friends. We don't throw the word friendship around so lightly like you Americans do. Immediately changed my perspective of friends.
Yeah, you can't. I don't do it.
So
Can't do that.
it now is much harder to get into me calling you a friend. But if you get to become a friend of mine, you get that conversation up front. I'm an upfront person. These are the rules and requirements. This is what it is. You got to keep moving forward. We don't do stuff. I learned this statement from watching Everybody Loves Raymond, but my mom used to say it all the time in a different way. It's BIS, butts in seats. When I walk out the door to get in the car, butts in seats. Whoever is not in the car when I start the car is getting left. That's my mentality. As I'm growing and going, whoever ain't in the car when I pull off is getting left. I don't do spinning the block. Don't call my phone talking about, "Yo, you left me." Uber, bus, something. I told you I was going. You didn't go.
Yeah.
You have officially made your own choice. And I feel like the people who do that, they understand beforehand that this is happening. So I don't need to tell you what you already see. You see this divide coming. You see me moving forward, and you're still standing still. I don't need to tell you what you already see. You made the choice to sit there.
Yeah.
So since you made the choice to sit there, deuces. I just gotta. Yo, what up, Trey? Appreciate you. Sorry, I literally just said your name.
Hey, Mike.
We're doing a run back with the topic 2 weeks ago. We're talking about kind of Ja Morant, but we're also talking about when you should know to leave your friends. And to my left, what you can see is you're right. This young lady over here. This is Lex the Visionary. Check her out.
Hi.
She is amazing. Trek, aka Mike Gibbs. Well, Mike Gibbs, aka Trek. He is a phenomenal beat maker as well. The jingle for the Real Talk podcast, him.
Oh, nice.
The jingle that he sent me some already. I'm trying to pick the right one for the Real Talk banter. Is him.
Got it.
He is a monster. Like, he loves people like Pharrell and the whole night. He studies it. I see his studio. He had in the one place he had. I know he moved to a new place now. He's getting things together in the new spot. But he had an entire room just with music and sound. Had it walled off and the whole night. Like, when he locks in, he locks in. Had to give you a shout out, Trek, especially because this is a phenomenal beast of an artist. For real singer and got a real hip hop vibe too. I'll see what I can do. See if I can. Show off. You know, I like connecting great people together. But yeah, like, you see the divide. You see it. I don't need to tell you what's going on. You already see the stuff. So since you already see it, what we talking about for? You comfortable there? Cool, great. I'm gone. When I left high school, there's like 4 or 5 people, maybe max, that I would talk to from high school. There's like 3, maybe 4 people from college that I talk to, like I would really talk to. That's about it. And one of them is dead. Now to think about it, shout out to Dana, rest in peace. Y'all went your way. We were cool for the season we were cool in. I'm not trying to drag an old season into my new season, nor let you drag me as an old season into your new season.
Right.
Enjoy it for what it was. We got to go our separate ways. And as long as you were comfortable going ahead and going your separate ways, it's all great.
Yeah.
But to me, people know it. People know before you say it. You feel it. You know it. So
It's definitely felt. It's definitely felt, yeah.
well, I got to make it uncomfortable by telling you, you know we moving apart, right? You know I'm starting not to like you, right?
That part.
You're breathing, and it's getting on my nerves. Could you just not breathe? Just don't do that.
A worst case scenario, it's on site when I see you. And I had to say that to somebody, and I didn't like it.
It's
Yeah.
those things. You know what's up.
I just wish people would be like, when you feel the feel, like be in tune and let it just happen.
Right, let it
That's me.
happen.
Like, and some things are easier than others. 1000%. Like, there are definitely some people in my head that I can think like, damn, if that ever happened, that would be difficult.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like there's a revolving door, and you know, once one season, there's a new and I don't doubt, like, especially in adulthood too, because they talk about like when you finally become adult, it's so hard to make friends. I don't necessarily believe that. I don't.
I think we, as the older we get, and I can speak from, especially like moving down here, I definitely understood that, like me coming down here and like, okay, find my circle, where are my brunch buddies,
Yeah.
all of those things. Like,
Yeah.
I got down here and I was like, am I too old
Interesting.
to start all over again? Like, how do we do this?
Right.
Like, there's the apprehension for it, but like, I think as long as you be open to it, because I've met some people. Like, I was like, as long as if you're making the effort to show yourself friendly, and I think this is
Right.
what we forget. If you are making the effort to show yourself friendly, genuinely you, and open to them being who they are, like, it'll happen. And when it happens, it happens. And whatever that season, when that door revolves and they walk out of it, that's cool too. But I think the older you get, that's the reason it gets smaller, because it gets difficult and we get jaded. I can speak. I'm the oldest one in the room, so I can say that. Like, we get jaded over the course of time. Like, it only takes one good time for you to really be stabbed in the back. And then you're like,
Yeah.
pause.
But I don't think that's jaded. I think that is, I just don't have time. Like, I really just am like, I really recognize, especially after these last 3 years, I have more years behind me than I do in front of me. I ain't got too many summers left, right? So why am I going to waste my time in my summers that I have, my good summers I got left, these few good ones I got left, why am I going to waste my time trying to do this stuff and trying to hold on and I ain't got that to do. I think we hold on, one, because we're always afraid to let go. Like, what if this is the best it's ever gonna get, and it's the best friend I'll ever have, and I'll never find another friend, and I become lonely, and well, you know, if you become lonely, it's because you're a lonely person. Like,
You choose to be lonely.
yeah, you're choosing it. Like, there are billions of people on this planet. I can't find none because you ain't going nowhere. Shoot, go to somebody else's church, go to a club, go to a library. You can find people. Walk up to somebody outside. Just walk up. Hey, how you doing? Can we be? Layla did that. It was
Layla, yeah.
our granddaughter the other day. We had her here last week, sometime a week before, whatever it was, right? And me and Jacob, we took her out to the little playground out there. And she was out there by herself for a little bit, and this 11-year-old boy walks up, and he's playing with this cat, because we got stray cats all around here. And she walked, it's horrible.
It's a thing.
And they're real people, too. They're not like cats. These are demon people.
I believe it.
So she walks up to him while he's playing with the cat, and Jacob's like, yo, leave the cat alone. She said, I'm not dealing with the cat. She walks over to him and says, hi, I'm Layla. Will you be my friend?
That's it.
And I'm like, and he's like, yes. And they started playing together all on the playground the whole night.
Ooh, I love kids. So simple.
Right.
But it's really that simple as an adult.
Yeah.
You can walk up to somebody and say, hey, my name is, what do you like to do?
Right.
we get so paranoid and so scared and so whatever. We don't ever want to put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
Look, just go make a friend. Stop punking, being so punkish. Just make a friend.
Yeah.
And people do stab you in your front and back nowadays, but you know what? What don't kill you make you stronger. Your skin gets tougher. Learn how to have a bigger sword. So they stab you, you cut them, whatever the case may be. Like, I don't have to worry about those. I really don't. I don't worry about those kinds of things. It's what it is. First of all, if you come into my life, you don't directly come all the way in. Mm-hmm. There are levels to this.
Earning levels, time.
And earning is the key.
It's like the depths of the pool.
Yeah.
You really got to know Jesse. You really got to earn. We're 12 years in. Mm-hmm. We're still learning things about each other.
Yeah.
And we're 12 years in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think that I'm going to let you in to the level my wife is in and it took her 12 years to get here? Nah.
Right.
Nah, it takes time. You got to earn this thing. And I hate y'all spiritual people. Oh, I see you in the spirit of God. Mm-hmm. You saw a glimpse. You might not even see it correctly. You might have had a star in your eye. You thought it was me. I don't know.
That was the lighting.
Especially in high praise. That was lighting in your eye.
That was the lighting.
But yeah, it takes time to get there. I'm not letting you in just because you want to be my friend. Okay, you could be in a...
That part, listen. I don't know why people think and then they get mad when you're not so receptive.
Right.
Relax.
I just met you 6 days ago.
Relax.
This is not the end all to be all.
Dang,
Calm
bro.
down.
Jeez. I'll shut them down real quick. I don't care. I'll be like, who are you? What's your last name?
I've learned to stop letting people say that they're friends of mine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Me and Jesse be friends. No, we're not. Hold on. Stop that. Stop that. Don't tell that lie. I know this Negro. we are associates. Like, I use now acceptable friend adjacent terms to make people feel better. But if you know me, you know that's not me calling you my friend. Like, if I say you're my boy, you ain't my friend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There are two levels that are deep for me. It is friend and it is brother or sister. Like, if you were that, you in there. Other than that, you just my boy. You nigga, I know. You just...
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to start letting you call me friend because I found out that that carries weight for other people.
It does. Let me...
I thought you was my friend. You thought wrong. We didn't... What the... And I'll say this last thing and I'll shut up and let y'all talk. We got to start treating friendships like relationships, for real. Like, we couldn't be a couple and then couldn't be married until we had a discussion that formalized who we are.
Interesting.
You are my girlfriend. I am your boyfriend. You are my fiance.
Look,
on the same page.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, nobody
Because
has
there's
a
levels to
discussion.
that too. I'm like, look, the amount of people who had got sadly disappointed in my later years, they was like, yeah, because we were dating. I was like, we were in a relationship. I was like, no, I was single. We were having sex.
Listen. Yeah.
I was single. We didn't get married. So I was single. Calm down.
I don't know.
Yeah. The whole carrying weight thing is a real thing because you could be over here living your life and then this person who's calling you their friend, they're talking about you about something you didn't do because you're their friend, when it's like, I'm not that level of, so why did you expect, and you've known me for this long anyway, and you know this is, so what's the problem?
Right.
What are you trying to, you don't like me for real. Just say it. It's okay. It's fine. I'll be fine.
I already am fine.
I'm fine. I've been fine this whole time.
And it's especially hard when you have like a big heart and you do,
Man.
and you're a giver. Oh, you're my friend. No, I'm not. This is my personality.
This is me
But
This
trying
is
and
me.
being kind and
Right.
yes.
oh, you gave me $10 when I needed it. Nigga, that's who I is. You asked me, I had it. There you go. That doesn't make us friends. I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Remember that one time I ate at
Longevity
your house? Yes, everybody eats in my house, though. Calm down. You don't get divided. We are not
Came to the
family.
house, old school.
I feed everybody.
She sure do.
I'm worse than
Why-
Scoop.
why I
Like,
don't
good thing
let
I'm not
nobody
into
else-
cats.
This is why I don't let a whole lot of you in the house. Y'all be tripping. Like that is precisely the truth.
Yeah.
I grew up in an era that if you were at somebody's house and they was eating, you got offered a plate. So if you come to my house
Right.
and I'm eating, we'll offer you a plate.
They should know.
But nigga, that's proximity. That's not friendship.
Thank you.
But we can also say that longevity doesn't mean friendship either.
Yes.
It doesn't. but
Yes.
You develop the ability to possibly be my friend over time.
I agree with that.
Like, I'm not gonna call you my friend, and I've only known you 6 months. For me, the reason it's time for friendship is because I got to see through. We got to see through some things.
Yeah.
I got to see your consistency to be able to be in my
let
life,
me
and I can't
tell
do that.
ya.
I look. You got to see me in winter, spring, summer, fall, rage.
Twice. I need you twice.
If you can survive me, this is shout out to Sharice once again. If you can survive all of me,
Yeah.
I know she said something.
This was Eric. Oh, baby, you got what I need. She said he's just a friend. She said, but that's what it is. It like, shout out to my boy Mike. He is a brother. Like I said, he's just outside of that of the dot, but that's my brother for real. I've known Mike. How long have I been out of college? I graduated in 2000.
A lot of time ago.
I graduated like 20 years ago. Graduated college.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take that age. I've known Mike almost my entire college life. So he's got 20 years in. And he stayed. That's a friend. You don't get that because I saw you in summer camp one time. And now
Yeah.
you got to have some time in, and then through that time, I see the consistency. I see your ability to tolerate me. Everybody who knows this is personal for Jesse. Everybody who knows Jesse knows Jesse's a handful. Jesse is. I got some quirks. I got some stuff. I am not easy to deal with. It is easy to try to come into my life. It's even easier to walk your ass out. It is easy. But Mike stayed there. Me and Mike clicked almost instantaneously. When I got to jail, that's what we called our dorm room, the other dorm that we had, Hockley Heights. We called it jail because the doors sounded like jail when they closed. There was nothing but cinder block on the walls. We clicked almost instantly, and we have been cool ever since. And we took time even past the click to talk about things we like and understand each other and hang out, play ball, and found some things that he do that I don't like, and he found out some things I do that I don't like. Okay, when you do that, cool. I'll see you when you're done. But we kept coming together, and then we graduated, and it was like, no, I need to keep in touch with you.
Yeah.
Like, and Mike do not tell Paul this. More than Paul, Mike has been consistent in my life. Like me and Paul, we had a break for a while. My boy Paul, the three of us, we went to school together, but we had a break. But that was a good
3 years.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years. Me and Paul didn't have any communication whatsoever.
Yeah.
We just kind of fell off, and then we just kind of, I don't even remember how we picked back up. We picked back up and said, oh, nigga, I ain't seen you forever. We just picked back up. That ain't happened with Mike. It was consistent.
Yeah.
That takes some. That's time. You don't get that right away. So you get the hell out of my life. I don't really care. I will walk away from you if you were not going where I feel like I'm trying to head, which is always forward. And Mike, so that's why I used to keep asking you what you're trying to do now. How's the music going? What you doing? Mike now is like, this dude's on autopilot. This dude works like 2-3 jobs at a time. He continues to make beats, and now he's actually a step ahead of me because he owns a home. And when he bought his home, I was so happy for him and so jealous at the same time. And it is beautiful, but seeing his.
And he's single, ladies. I just want to put that out there. Sorry.
Mike, she's continually trying to hook you up. I had nothing to do with it. She continued trying to hook you up.
What is Atlanta? There are 9 to every man down here. Look, Mike. I'm sorry. I feel like he's a brother to me. So yeah,
That's real.
I'd be like, ladies.
Right.
He's been consistent. So if you could stay, especially with me, I can put you on route to call you a friend, but still take some time. You got to see 2 or 3 summers with me. Summers, falls, winters. Hear my road rage and not be offended. Hear me cuss somebody out for real, and be like, oh my God, here's a pass, and not say none of that garbage to me because I'll get you cussed out too.
Yeah.
Here's some of the playful racist stuff that I say, because I do.
This is why we like
Playfully
Jacob.
Racist. Oh, Mike wanted me to know he also does cybersecurity now.
Oh, come up, Mike. Love this for you.
He does it all. Dude, this is what I'm talking about. Dude, he keeps up in his status, and I love that. I need folks around me like that. And if you can tolerate that, if you can tolerate my violent speech, because anybody who's been around me has heard me say some creatively violent stuff. If you can tolerate, because it comes out. Or, like you have done, have the testicular fortitude to say, hey, look, I can't deal with all of that. I can just back it off a little bit. I respect folk who can do that because you have boundaries. And so now, because not only am I interviewing you to be a friend, you're also interviewing me to be a friend. So I have to now respect that boundary. Say, okay, I'm to the best of my ability, I will try not to say nothing violent while I'm around you.
When do you feel like people have too many boundaries in place, though?
When it makes me uncomfortable.
When it gets impossible to be around them, like once I get to the place where because I'm a flexible person, like shut up.
I wasn't gonna say that. I was thinking it though.
Like when it gets to the point though that it's too many. You're making it difficult for me to be there for you, especially my personality. When you've made it too difficult for me to be around you, I'm good. Bless you.
Finally, it came out. y'all who just jumped on,
It came
y'all
out the left
understand.
nostril too. Like report.
We have been waiting on that sneeze since we started this broadcast.
Oh my God. I have a headache now. Pressure. I took some medicine.
Okay.
It'll go away.
But yeah, once you get to the place where you are, and I feel like some people know that they are creating hoops, circles, lighting them puppies on fire for you to jump through. Is that many tests? I'm good.
Yeah, because I was just like, because when that's when I feel like it's the case where it's just like, if there's so many things that you have to put up, then are we like, do you really want this? Because
Right.
it sounds like you want me to be a completely different person.
Right.
So
And if I'm not for you, I'm not for you. And I'm okay with
I
that.
need to y'all accept it.
Right.
Move on. Attract new friends. Listen, it's just less stressful.
But I think people overthink and overprocess it, like in an endeavor so that it looks a certain way. But when people vibe together, I know it's an overly
it's
used
different.
word. When that happens,
Yeah.
those kind of organic, like when I first. Karen, the first time I ever saw her, we were in 8th grade, and I took one look at her. I ain't like her. I was like, she has got to be conceited. Like she is all of the things. And so like, I'm not finna give her a chance to downplay me because I'm the exact opposite of her. And she just was like, she is one of the sweetest, most chill people I have ever met. Like I get angry for her. Like that Keenan and Peele skit with Barack Obama, and then there's the angry voice of Barack. Like she'll, like stuff will happen to her, and I'll be like, you want me to get the bat? Because I'm ready to cuss people out. She'd be like, no, it's okay. I'd be like, no, it's not okay. She was dating this dude, and he came to me and he confessed that he had cheated on her, and I was like, you got the right one today. She cried. She didn't say not a word, and she cried. And I was like, she's crying.
My friend cried.
You made my friend cry. Oh, I let him have it. Oh, I read him for filth. Oh, that was the worst phone call he could have ever made. Oh, I made him feel this big in every way. I was like, how dare you? You had this caliber of woman and you cheated on her with some slut. What kind of man do you think that you are?
Sounds like a Medea movie.
I'm that one. Like when I go for blood, oh, I need you to rethink that you ever had a conversation with me.
Yeah. Nah, for
Like
sure.
I want to make it last. And I was like, how dare you? And she was like, no, you don't have to do it. I was like, girl, it's already done. I just want to know if you want to let me know where you want the body buried at this point, because I'm over it.
Yeah.
But like when you have that our chemistry just sort of happened, and I knew that she was the friend for me the first time. Like we were in class and we were just saying like the most disgusting cuss words we could at each other, and what she said to me, I was like, that is absolutely disgusting. I am offended. You are my bestie. Cause she don't say nothing. So when she hit me with the one, I was like,
Yeah.
I love you. You are now my bestie.
But I think that's how friendship really should work. Like, it shouldn't be this hard, over-processed connection. It can be hard working on keeping and maintaining the friendship. I'm cool with that. But there shouldn't be this round peg in a square hole mentality. It should just fit. Me and Mike just fit. Me and Paul just fit. Me and if I wish some of y'all could have seen me and Russell. We just fit.
Yeah.
This sarcastic butthole, we just fit. That was my dude. Like, he had this innate ability to piss you off and make you laugh in the same sentence and not change the wording. It'd be the same thing and you're mad and laughing at the same time, and you can't be too mad because you're laughing so hard, but you wish you could laugh harder, but you're too mad. Like, he was that.
Because he could do it with a smile. It was uncanny. Like, he could do it with a smile. You'd be like, what did you say to me? Because he's still smiling at the same time. I'm like, what did you say?
And in the back of your mind, you're trying to figure out, was he serious or not?
Right.
And that was my dude. Like, he's the one that he and I used to always say, we're the exception to the rule that you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. We never had a choice. We grew up together. Our families were families, so we just kind of were always around each other. But I don't really. Let me not say it in case the rest of them listen to it. I mean, I said it. He and I, out of all his family, we just really just clicked. It was instant, and we never left each other's side. Like, it was that. So I feel like all real friendships should be like that. It shouldn't be this over-processed thing. That's why it should be easy to walk up to someone and say, hey, my name is, you want to be, let's talk.
Right.
And then see where it goes from there. If we connect, cool. If not,
Right.
No harm, no foul. Right.
For sure.
But as soon as you start telling me like I need to, like, we have to do this on these days, and then you need to do this a certain way, I'd be like, pause.
Yeah.
I don't need to do nothing but be black and die. These two things I can't change.
Michael Jackson proved to us we don't know.
Well, you ain't gotta stay black, okay?
Had to do it.
But yeah, like I think it's us as adults who overcomplicate these things.
Absolutely.
We make it difficult.
And because we make it difficult to walk away. That's not my testimony.
Yeah.
I got sharp scissors. Cut quick. If my scissors don't work, I carry a knife. If the knife don't work, I got a sword. Like, I'm cutting something.
Yeah.
This got to end. I'm not scared. It's one of the things I like about this chick right here. She's also not scared to just let niggas go. Like, and neither am I. Like, if I don't feel like you're worth it, bye.
Yeah.
If you're worth it and you're trying to move in the direction I'm trying to move, cool.
Yeah.
Come on, let's see how we can help each other out for the ride. But if not, bless you. Go the way you're going. God bless you. Your way. And I'm praying God bless me my way.
Yeah.
just know, I personally, I'm not spending the block. So if in 10 years down the road,
Yeah.
you become the thing that I was striving to get to, I ain't spending that block. I'm happy for you. But you on your end, I'm still on mine. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just me. Anything else, Wesley?
I'm good.
Anything else, Wesley? Okay, cool. On that note, we're gonna go ahead. We're not gonna run that second topic back. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back with my favorite portion of the podcast, the Real Talk Banter. We'll be right back after this short break.
When you look your best, you feel your best. When you look together, you feel together. Where do you go when you need the right accessories? You come see me. I have everything you need for the colors, for the classics, for the rings, for the bling, for every outfit. For your casual outfits, for your formal outfits, for your work outfits, for your hangout with your girls outfits, for your going out to dinner outfits. Anytime you need the accessories to add that bling to your life, come see me. I am Maya Jordan, and I am the owner of Crown Jewel. You can find me on Facebook at Maya Jordan. That's MayaJordan. And I am also on Instagram as Queen Elizabeth Jordan. So the next time you need some accessories or any kind of consulting, feel free to see me, inbox me, or catch one of my lives. Have a great evening.
All right. We back. Shout out to Maya Jordan, the proprietor, if you will, of all the stuff that she does, and shout out to Pastor Jay Jordan, who is the.
Are you done?
Huh?
Are you dying?
Oh no, that one's dead.
Okay.
Or about to die. This one's dying. It's okay. This one was more of my primary use for, and that one was
Gotcha.
to keep track of the comments.
Oh, and on Tuesday nights, catch that we're not gonna call him pastor at that moment.
Take us some craziness.
catch the Maya Show featuring Jay Jordan on Tuesday nights on Facebook Live, and all of the flames, boas, and shenanigans, but some wonderful pieces of jewelry and accessories.
That's really all. That's really all you can say. Like, for real, it is. Yeah, it is absolutely.
Jay.
We love you, Jay. We love you. All right, so my favorite portion is the Real Talk Banter. I can't wait till I get this jingle together so I can. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot. So I'm gonna go with the keep ones first. No, I'm not. I lie. I want to ask the first question first. Then I'll do a keep one, and we'll see what we'll see where we're at then. So, you a TV person? Like, I know there's some TV you watch and things like that, but
You say TV person, like
you like to watch TV? Or
I prefer TV shows over movies these
that
days.
works. Cool. So,
I don't know if it helps.
you go for this question. And it's a hard one. You got to think about it. And for y'all who are listening, I would love to hear what y'all have to say about this one too, because this is not an easy question. If you could get one more season of any show, what show would it be and why?
Game of Thrones.
Wow, that was quick. That was a lot easier than I thought it was.
Because just the last, it just didn't do what it needed to do. It just
did
didn't do
not.
it, and they need to redo it.
I slightly disagree. Like I think the last half of season 8, I was okay with the first portion.
Oh, the first. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Okay, because most people I know who like Game of Thrones, they hate the entirety of season 8. I just hate the last.
I don't think I hate the entirety. The last episode was trash.
Oh my!
Oh, the
Such
final.
trash.
Oh, trash.
It's like
They threw it away.
They just.
That was a lot easier for it than I thought. That was hard.
I got an hour. I remember that immediately.
I was really thinking about was like, y'all didn't
Dang,
run that
2019. No.
You're like, run that back. Y'all need to redo that one.
back. Side question. It's not with the banter, but just side question. What do you think of the House of Dragons?
I don't watch that.
You haven't watched it? It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's so much like Game of Thrones. The first couple episodes are really draggy. Then it picks up real well. Then it dips a little bit, but then it gives you cause near the end of like, you need to come back with a second season.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like they absolutely. I don't know where they're gonna go from it. They really need to come back with a second season.
I'm really bad at watching stuff that start off slow. Like the fact that I finished Game of Thrones is a miracle because what had happened
Took me
was
2 tries.
2 tries. I was in college in my senior year. I had two roommates. One of my roommates was obsessed with it. She stuck through it.
Senior year of college.
And
It hit me late. Oh my god.
That's how that 20 years out of college felt.
and we started watching it together, but I couldn't hang. I was bored, because she stuck with it, and I happened to catch the episode of the Red Wedding. That's
the
what
best
got me.
episodes,
That's what got. I said, "Oh, I gotta keep watching this." So I kept watching it, and then I think I watched it up to before season 7, and then I went back and watched seasons 1 through 3.
Oh, you cheat.
No, that's what had to happen for
And
me.
it had to. I wasn't
Like if
It
he
was so
hadn't,
slow.
it was.
But it's one of the greatest shows
Way
of all
too
time.
slow.
You can't start the greatest show of all time like that.
I wouldn't say it's the greatest show of all time.
I said one.
It's not in my top 5. Eric
said
Chappelle show. No, you said I absolutely quit thinking.
Yeah, I could have used another season of Chappelle. So I understand why it ended when it ended, but I could have used another one.
I've been thinking about it a lot. Let me pick back off the Game of Thrones thing first. I second Chappelle show should absolutely have another season. I started watching it after it was already done. I'm one of those that if you overhype a show or something, I'm probably not going to watch it because it's going to disappoint me. And I just don't. Like, tell me it's good, and then maybe I'll watch it. But if you overhype it, everybody, oh my God, Game of Thrones, this show's not going to be that good. And then I watched the first episode. I said, this show sucks. I am done. And it was my boy Rudd. He was like, you got to power through the first 3 seasons. I said, the first 3 seasons?
You do.
That's a fact. After that, everything is great.
Right.
I said, nigga, do you realize
How long 3 seasons
A
is?
long time.
shows get 3 episodes? You ain't caught me in the first 3,
Yeah.
because I recognize how TV shows generally work. The first episode is to establish the characters.
Yeah.
The second episode is to establish whatever type of conflict. And
Yeah.
the third episode is where she start to skyrocket. 3 seasons?
Yeah.
I watched, to put it in perspective, I finished Game of Thrones the first time around 3 years ago. Yeah, it was at the start of the pandemic when HBO Max came out. That's when I did Game of Thrones. I binged it while working because I was like, I need something on,
Yeah.
and I got hooked. And when the Red Wedding happened, oh my God,
Yeah.
it's wonderful. Chappelle show, absolutely, because it's hilarious. Eric also says the Boondocks. I'm cool with that as well. I'm gonna do a twofer. I think it should either be Scandal.
That was my one.
Another
Into
season.
Scandal.
You never got it.
I can't get into like lawyer crime shows.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not my genre.
And then you're also gonna hate my second one. I think The Wire should have gotten another season. I think they could have done some more with it, done some better with it. Yeah.
Got
For
it.
me,
Because this is another one that ended.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're like, look, I know you tired of writing the same thing, but come on now, pull it out for the last one. God, I need all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
How did all these supposedly great shows,
And terribly.
The Wire, Game of Thrones,
How to Get Away with
Sopranos.
Murder.
How to Get Away with Murder was crap at the end. I'm like, oh. No, but to be fair, How to Get Away with Murder was crap from the last 3 seasons on.
Yeah.
Really?
Just, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, it
Oh,
crashed
the
and burned
decline.
quickly.
And I love crime and cop and lawyers. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Teach me law through television. Let me find out some stuff. Love it. And if it's done well, it's wonderful. That show started off so well. And then it just didn't fall off a cliff. It swan dived off a cliff. And was like take me, I'm yours.
Here's a surefire way to get me away from a show. Start bringing in stupid supernatural stuff. Grey's Anatomy.
Oh wait, Grey's Anatomy has like 21 seasons or something, right?
Right. I was good up until they brought him back as a ghost. I was like, you doing too much. I'm out. And Ashley, she huge, finished it, watched all of it, and she was like, "Ma, you just got to come back." I'm like, "No, I'm done." Once we start getting weird, I'm done.
It's over.
Right. How we start here and end up over there? I'm out.
So here we go. This is what I call keep one. Keep one for those who don't remember. It's been a while since we've done keep one because we've been on the kick of the pick your poison. I'm sorry, Eric, we ain't doing pick your poison tonight. We have an esteemed
I had
lady guest.
begged
She's a
him
lady.
not to do pick your poison
Pick
with
your
you.
poison. Is it like the this or that, either or type?
It is.
Yes.
It is
Graphic.
It's very graphical. It's the late night edition. It is. Yeah. It's a,
Like the tamest one is like, would you rather like get caught on the cover of New York Times, somebody post a new photo of you on the cover of New York Times, or kill one of your family members?
Is it a tasteful nude photo?
We all went with the new photo.
Yeah. What?
yeah. Here we go. These are two type questions that are.
Oh, this is an actual card game. Only be able to sleep with people you find unattractive. Be unable to sleep with someone until you drink a. Ooh.
Right.
I was like, I'm a lady here, so we're not gonna. Sharice said, "Wow, really? Boo." Meanwhile, Eric, who seems like he loves the game, was like, "Thank goodness."
Right.
Wait, I'm deciding.
See, she's actually playing the game. But before she even said she was not to do it, I was like, "No, this is Lex. I'm not gonna subject her to that." But yeah, and they get worse. Oh, that's tame. That's tame.
It gets so much worse.
Yeah.
This is tame?
Oh,
Yes.
tame.
And there's actually like a revision part that's like extreme. I'm like, just stay out of that deck.
Someone until you.
And when we get off there, I'll show you some more cards. Like, they're. Sharice said, "Your face is everything." Like, right in the and those were two at random.
Because then you
Like,
start to visualize it. And you're like, could I actually? Oh, God. How did you find that?
Oh, I love the game. It's hilarious.
No, how did you find
So
that?
I'm a huge consumer of podcasts,
Yeah.
especially for people that I find interesting, right? And so Kev on Stage, who I love all of his stuff.
Yeah.
He has a new podcast he does called I Saw This on the Internet. And so it's him and 4 other comedians, and they're talking about super old stories. And he ends it with a game around a pick your poison. But he didn't have the late night edition. He has the regular edition. So I went on Amazon like, ooh, let me do pick your poison, because the some of the topics were kind of fun and they promote conversation and banter. Like, oh, it's great for real talk banter. Then I saw the late night edition. I was like, this is more my speed. let's get some crazy foul stuff in there.
Oh, my God.
And when I saw it, I was not ready for the pack. I was like, oh. And then we played the actual game of it with Maya and Jordan and Florida.
Yeah.
And I found out how we hadn't even gone through like the entire. So this is the full deck.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
it's all of those, but because I'm greedy. Also about the expansion pack with more mess in it, and yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I was like, yeah, I love this. And so because it becomes harder and harder to pick the pick ones and come up with some different batches. Just to give my brain a break.
Oh.
But we have been doing it for like 3 or 4 episodes straight now. So I'm like, okay, I can go back and
I
do a
got
regular
you.
one. So you get that one. So you get spared to pick your poison. Meanwhile, Sharice wants you to do pick your poison. Eric is like, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah. For sure.
So here's your keep one. Keep one, for those who don't remember. Keep one is I'm going to give you a list of 4 things, and you can only keep one of them for the rest of your life. Which one you gonna keep? Your favorite TV show, your favorite artist, your favorite city or place to go, or your favorite food. Whatever you don't pick goes away. So, for example, if you say your favorite TV show, your favorite food no longer exists in your world. Which one you gonna keep?
TV show, artists, food.
I'm gonna show her some more once we're off air, Sharice. Calm down. Sharice wants me to show you 2 more.
LOL.
She is a glutton for punch. Beat her up tomorrow. Just walk past her and punch her in the face tomorrow.
What's the fourth one?
Your favorite food. So your favorite
Food, artist.
favorite city or place to go.
Okay.
Your favorite artist or your favorite TV show.
Okay, so immediately I have to nix my favorite artist because he's already dead.
Biggie and Prince.
Got it.
Those are hers. Yeah.
I haven't traveled enough to say I have a favorite city yet.
Same.
But
You lost your mind, sir. Eric. He said food. New York gotta go. No. You get on in 2 weeks, we gonna fight. Not disparage New York food. Well, New York pizza, because that's part of New York food.
Question.
Don't do that. No. Yes,
If you get rid of the artist, you get rid of all their songs.
Yep.
Yeah.
too?
Yep. All the songs, any movies they were in case they were in a movie or TV show, they gotta go to everything that has their imprint on it. So
I'm
even
between
music,
food
so
and
like if you're a
city.
Babyface fan, every song he's ever written that even he may not have sung, everything that's associated with that artist goes.
so I'm gonna live up to my true fatty ways, and maybe because I'm hungry right now, I'm gonna have to save my food.
So too. Yeah.
Save the food.
Food.
Sharice also said food, and I also say food. It's gonna be hard for everybody else. This ain't gonna be hard for me. I eat more than I do anything else. I will find another TV show. My my favorite
Right.
TV shows eventually end anyway.
Yeah.
So my favorite artist of all time was also dead. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. He ain't making no more music, and I know all the music by heart. So
Right.
they can take it off. They've already done it. They basically canceled. I might. I don't care if I ever travel anywhere, so I don't really have a favorite place to go. Unless you're saying my home is my favorite place to go, because that's where I'm at. But I gotta have a place to live. So, food. I eat. You can't get rid of
Because
chicken.
if all the chicken disappeared from the world,
I'm already mad at Atlanta for these little small wing things. They call wing things.
Yeah.
I rant on them before. Oh, our good friend Miss Tay. She's in Columbus, however. So she showed this picture of these chicken wings from Popeyes. This big. They were smaller than what they served in Atlanta. And I was like, "Where'd you must have came down to Atlanta? What the heck
that was a
is
Cornish
this?"
hen wing. That was
It
no
was
way that was real
horrible.
chicken.
And it was from Popeyes, a regular chain that normally has regular size wings. No.
Dang.
Damn.
Yeah, I was upset about that. I was upset. I think we can go with the one more.
One more?
Yeah, one more. So I'll let you choose. You want to go with the question or one more? Keep one.
Still a question.
Do a question? Okay. What was the most impactful celebrity death for you and why?
Ooh. The most impactful. Is this just for me?
Well, it's for
Well, for all of us.
But
Y'all are looking at me.
Because you're the guest. You got to go first.
I'm thinking about so many people. I'm thinking about Bernie Mac. I'm thinking about Heath Ledger. I'm thinking about Michael Jackson. I'm thinking about Whitney Houston. I'm thinking about Twitch the dancer. Like, I won't say too much because it gets kind of like deep for me.
That's the point of the banter. Go ahead and get deep. Go ahead and jump into the ocean.
It's a little too personal.
Oh, okay.
But I think I'm gonna say Twitch, which was like a few months ago.
That was a shocker.
Just because not only just was a shock, it's just the place that I was at when it happened was a very like dark place at the time for me in my life. So that kind of like added on to like certain worries and anxieties like that I was having. So that's truly like the most impactful. Like, not that the others like from bigger stars and stuff wasn't like big, but like just based off of where I was at back, I guess that was November, December. It was I had to like anytime I saw it, I would have to like not see it. Like that's how like deep it was for me. So I'll say that one.
Okay.
You should already know who mine
I know
is.
where it's going, but you got to say it.
So mine's is Biggie. Like,
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly what I was wearing the day that it happened. I was getting ready to leave the house. I was getting dressed, and I heard it on the radio, and I was like, I did not hear that correctly. And I went back, and I kept turning, and I kept looking at the news, and I was in my bathroom bawling my eyes out. Like, you would think that I knew him. Like, that hit me so deeply. I'm like, he is too young. Like, this is insane. Why is it coming to this? Like, that East Coast, West Coast should not have gotten that far.
Yeah.
Like, it was just to me, that is a senseless death. Like, and that for me, because I, as a person who feeds off of lyrics, like his song in a good and bad way, and I'm learning through therapy to process it better. But my favorite song of all time is the Suicide song. And like, to hear him talk about like his transition out in his albums, like Life After Death, I was like, that shouldn't have happened. Like, this is the wrong time for life to imitate art. Like, and that deeply impacted me. I like, to this day, like, for me, he is on my Mount Rushmore. He's number one in my top 5.
Got it.
You should know who it is for me.
It's
actually tossed up between two, but I went with the one I know you know who it is for a number of reasons. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is my connection to everything. He's my connection to my father. The first time I ever saw my dad, like, overly express surprise, shock, and awe was at Michael Jackson, Motown 25, when he saw Michael Jackson moonwalk. My dad was half asleep on the couch. I wasn't supposed to be up that late, but my dad knew I wanted to see Mike. He's laying on the couch, half asleep, and I'm sitting down on the couch, or not on the couch, on the floor, and the moonwalk happened. My dad stepped and said, "Whoa!" I said, I want that.
Yeah.
Mike was also like my entry into ministry, because without Mike, I wouldn't have really desired to learn how to dance, which brought me to the dance ministry. And the dance ministry opened up everything else in ministry for me, so there wouldn't be that. Mike opened up my ear to an eclectic ear of hearing music, because Mike was not one thing. I know he was considered the king of pop, but he wasn't one thing. Dirty Diana is not a pop song. You know, he got Slash to play with him in different stuff. He did the pop, he did the hip hop. He did whatever he wanted to do. And so I was like, yo, that, when he died, I'm at work, and it just kind of just build a buzz chatter just came through the room. And it was like, Michael Jackson, and it hit my ear. Michael Jackson, and everybody, as soon as it hit my ears, like, everybody stopped and everybody started looking it up. We stopped working and looked up. Oh my God, he's dead.
Yeah.
And nobody else worked that day. The rest of the day was us just talking about our shock that Mike is dead, our favorite Michael Jackson moments, and the fact that they did Mike wrong because he really didn't do what they said he did, and no, everybody paid attention to the headlines, nobody paid attention to the verdict, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Go check it out. He was not guilty of everything. judges and lawyers and juries acquitted him of everything, and there's also paper trail. Anyway, so we talked about all of that, and like it messed me up for a minute because I was like, oh my god, because I started having the flashbacks of all the stuff and all that watching him brought me into entry to. It was that for me. Like there's nobody that touches Mike. Not no gospel singer, nobody. The closest it was going to be Daryl Coley, but it's Mike, hands down. Like there's nobody like Michael Jackson. Trek says, let's see a couple before we end out. Mike says Robin Williams.
That was hard.
Yeah, that was tough.
He also understands Mike. He says, I feel that when Michael Jackson died, it was pretty dark for me. My whole family called me, knowing what it meant. Yeah. Eric said, I'm so glad you probably didn't hear all of my statements earlier concerning, he said Aaliyah for him. I'm so glad. don't go back and watch first part of the podcast. Don't do that. I don't talk very well about her. Yeah, but I understand it though. Yeah. It's a lot. Like people don't really understand the power of celebrity. Not so much because of who they are, but like
the influence and the impact that they have on people.
And so people have. I used to be one of those people like, you don't even know this person. Why are you so upset? And then I started looking at it like, nah. If you don't know them, they had impact on your life. Like Dusty Rhodes, because I'm a huge wrestling fan, when he passed, my mom was almost in tears. And I was like, oh snap! And I remember us watching Dusty Rhodes matches together. Like it was, celebrities can do that. It's a whole thing.
For sure.
So we're gonna go ahead and end it there. I know it's a down kind of mournful thought process note. Go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and end it there. However, before we end it, two things I'm gonna do. One, give them all your socials again. How they can get in touch with you.
Yes, I am.
For legitimate reasons, she may or may not be single, but that does not mean you can shoot your shot. Because I know how dudes is.
So what am I saying? Where you can find me, Lex the Visionary, just like super simple everywhere, literally everywhere. Like there's no change, there's no underscore, there's no period. I'm so happy. Just straight through Lex the Visionary. And then like he said, Lotus is everywhere. It was everywhere as of last month on May 12th. You can stream it everywhere. If you do decide to follow me or get in contact with me, I would love to know what you think about the project. Again, don't shoot your shot. Just, let's just be cool. Because I'm about my business first and foremost. I don't do well with DMs and all that stuff. But yeah, Lex the Visionary. Yay.
Awesome. So, make sure you go as soon as I give the close this podcast, which is coming up in less than 30 seconds. Go to all of the places you stream music, whether it's Tidal, whether it is Amazon, whether it's Apple, whether it's Spotify, no matter where it's at. Go and go to Lex the Visionary and get yourself Lotus and listen to it. You will not be disappointed. I promise you. Here's how I'm closing out. I'm not going to close out with the Real Talk jingle. We're going to close out running back one good time. We're going to close out with friends. This has been the Real Talk Podcast. Thanks for listening.
No. Or the backyard Bobby, are you backseat crying? Do you have somebody? When you're looking around, are the eyes that stare really the ones who care? Especially when you haven't got nowhere. Truth is, life's a lot. Sometimes you finna get caught. Discombobulated or not, it's nice when you're around the people you want. It don't matter the place. It don't matter the place. I'm with my breath. I'm with my breath. I'm with my breath. I'm with my breath. taking, straight Cali quaking like a mushroom cloud. Am I gonna make it? Is you feeling mad? Lost, swirling in the cycle, straight depressive cycles. Some days I can barely fight through. Lights a lot, sometimes you finna get caught. Discombobulated or not, it's nice when you're around the people you want. It don't matter the place, it don't matter the place. I'm with my breath. 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 I'm with my
This is Real Talk. Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk. Real Talk. This is Real Talk. Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk. Real Talk. Real Talk.